Welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday to those who celebrate. Happy Hump Day to you all. It's Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. And we are rolling. The Padres aren't. We'll get to that in a moment. The Padres very much so are not rolling.
It's fine.
Streaking.
Fletch actually listened to his update. Great job on the sports update. They are the first team that has lost in Anaheim, not named the Angels.
Oh, yeah, Dad.
Wow.
Setting records all day.
Lost the series.
That's
in
right.
Anaheim.
Over the course of a series, no team has lost a series other than the Angels in Anaheim.
Wow.
So you want another one? I got stats. I got another bad stat for the Padres.
Stats on stats?
I mean, let's stop there for just a moment because we were going to delay the inevitable for a little bit here, but why bother? Here we are.
Okay, I'll say it.
Let's stop off and talk about that one thing. So we're 60 games. Think about how impressive that is for the Anaheim Angels to be so ceaselessly disappointing in your own hometown. That series after series, after 2, after 3, after 4 game series, you are turning up a loser.
Hey, someone had to be the first, and the Padres broke through that frontier.
And then you meet the Padres, who are rolling off of a winning series from Kansas City, and you're thinking to yourself, we're about to get rolled. They're on their way down to the Diamondbacks. They're going to get right on track right at the right time. They're getting hot right before the trade deadline. And the Padres go, nope. Turns out we left our bats at the airport in KC. We're here to just hang, dude. Actually, we're going to have a couple of really good pitching performances, like from people you wouldn't really expect. You know that Matt Waldron guy? Turns out he's all right. The knuckleballer can shove. And then we're going to debut a player who's never actually towed the rubber, never actually fielded the bump. And he's going to shove also for 6 innings, by the way. He's really going to stretch this one out for us and eat some innings. Oh, by the way, with one-run ball, and we're just not going to give him any run support at all. F him. So, sorry to sour your first day on the mound, kid. Good luck next time. Welcome to being a Padre. Wow.
Were we expecting anything different? Yeah, I mean, that's where, I didn't watch this game last night. I actually forgot it was happening. I had a bunch of errands I was running. I was doing things around the house, and I was like, oh my God, the Padres, I got to check the score, and went, oh, of course.
I hate myself for
Of
doing
course, we're
this.
back to 500.
I hate myself for doing this. I watched the majority of the beginning of this game, and I was like, oh, the Padres are going to win this game. Because, okay, look, and we've watched a lot of baseball. Everybody who's a fan of the Padres, you've seen a lot of debuts for pitchers over the years, especially with this team, because let's be honest, like there has been some rough years here where we've had to debut a lot of pitchers, so we've seen what it looks like. Sometimes it goes really bad. Sometimes it goes really good. This was one of the good ones. And I'm like, whoa, this kid's doing all right. I'm like, this is good. This feels right. This looks like it's heading in the right direction.
Once again, AJ Preller.
Yeah.
This pulling a rabbit out of the hat.
The assumption is at some point in this game, surely the Padres bats will not stay quiet for 3 straight games. And I was wrong.
Good for you. Way to be wrong.
Scored 6 runs in 3 games, guys.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Pretty good.
Yeah, a couple of
major
numbers up there.
He was legitimately awesome. The
He
rookie
was.
getting pulled up, 23 years old, to be able to do that, getting out of jams. He had 2 or 3 double plays that he was able to roll up for the Padres. And it's frustrating when you see that Fernando and Manny both had pretty good games, and they still only get 2 runs across the board. And once again, the Angels have proven that if you just throw lefties out there against the Padres won't score. It was just all singles yesterday for the Padres. They could not get any pop behind any hit that they got, and everything left-handed pitching against this lineup just sucks.
I don't get it. I mean, I don't get it. There at some point you would think that it would click in of, okay, we're going to go fight and win these things, and it just doesn't happen.
Playing down to competition, it's kind of been the story of the season. Like, how do you get to a 500 record? By being good against good teams? Well, you suck against bad teams.
Yeah.
And the Padres have proven that now over the course of 2 seasons that they're bad against bad baseball teams. The Angels have been historically bad at home, and the Padres can't do it.
Yeah, they can't. They can't. And the Angels, this series against the Angels is no different. And They're going into a series against the Diamondbacks, and I don't know what to expect because they haven't been the greatest home team. But this team consistently does this. They give you a swing of positive, and then they give you a swing of negative. And it's on the leadership in the clubhouse. Again, not to sound like a broken record and not to, beat a dead horse here, because in my opinion, it ain't dead.
Right.
You got to point your finger at Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. and say, like, look, you two have been here the longest. You two have been dedicated the most money in this team salary to make this work. And we discussed this a little bit, right? Making the comparison of Kyrie Irving and maybe some of the things that he was going through during his time leaving Cleveland, going to Boston, some of how that parting of ways felt on his side of the coin. And there's not a lot of sympathy from fans, but it does give you a little bit of a human aspect to the player. These are not robots. Nothing happens in a vacuum. There are phone calls and there are meetings with business partners, and there are, relationships that come and go, and there's time with family and parents, and families are complicated sometimes, and these players are people. And I mean, Manny Machado's a new father. Like, it all sounds like excuses, but trust me, they're not. Sometimes things off the baseball field affect on-field play. But it has been 2 years of this now for fans who commit some portion of their very meager salary in comparison to those of Tatis and Machado or some of the other major leaguers or any of the major leaguers around this baseball team get paid to come out and support this team. And it's been disappointing. And look, the prices have gone up. It has become harder to become a Padres fan. The prices have gone up at home. If you want to stream all these games, they just recently reduced the price of the package that they were selling to stream these games by $25.
Right.
It could all be yours for $75 for the remainder, or per month for the remainder of the season.
It's really hard to ask. I'll just use myself as an example, because I do live paycheck to paycheck between my wife and myself. Like, we aren't exactly killing it in the money game right now. But it's hard to ask us to feel bad for guys who are making a ton of money about their off the field stuff, and it's hard to make it all black and white and make it just so much about one thing. But that is how I see the world sometimes. It's that, well, okay, Manny Machado's making, what is it, $350 million over the course of this contract, and he can't do something that I care about. Like, he can't just hit the ball a little bit better. And he has been over the last few games. That's not what matters, really, I guess. But it's hard when, Rich, you make these points about, well, they are people. They do have stuff going on off the field. It's hard for me to feel bad about that.
I'm not, and I'm not asking you to specifically. I like, and that's every fan's choice is to enjoy this team or enjoy sports any way they want to. I mean, I'm lending perspective. I'm building out an excuse for some of what we've seen so far, but at the same time, tempering it with impatience, because even though I've lived that life and I know what it feels to be a professional athlete, I still understand that it's a bottom line business. I understood that while I was playing. So anytime teams that I participated on were having struggles, I understood the blowback we would receive. I did interviews in hostile situations where interviewers were asking tough questions about why the team sucks. And you have to sort of parry and thrust and, fend off the commentary and kind of, just discuss about how hard everybody's working and how hard everybody's trying to make it right. Look, I doubt anybody on this roster in this clubhouse wants to lose baseball games. I'm sure nobody flew into Anaheim thinking, you know what would be cool? Getting swept by the Angels. But now we're in danger of that. And they're going to come back home to fans who are getting impatient.
Yeah, I mean, look, yesterday, Tatis and Manny, they had 5 of the 7 hits yesterday.
All singles,
which I don't really care. If everyone's hitting singles, you're playing small ball, you're going to win this game. I promise you that. You're going to knock them around the bases and win this game. But everyone else went cold. And where we had said this is going to be the problem if all of a sudden they get hot and everyone else is cold, and now you're trying to pick up the slack. But they accounted for 70% of the hits yesterday for this team.
And then it was another performance from Yuki Matsui out of the bullpen where he really struggled, and that's 2 in a row now. And he was early on in the season, he was doing great. And now if the middle bullpen starts going out, which was another shaky part of this team coming in, and now it's starting to get a little shaky after being really good at the start of the season, that's a problem. The stat I was referring to at the beginning is starting pitching. The last 3 games have been Michael King, Matt Waldron, and yesterday Adam Mazur, the rookie. All 3 of them, 6 innings, 1 run. And the Padres lost all 3 of those games. That is the first time in franchise history they've lost 3 straight with at least 6 innings pitched and 1 run or fewer from their starter. First time in Padres history.
So many records over the past couple days. We had the second player ever in Major League Baseball to be banned for life. That's pretty cool.
We got Pete Rose and Marcano.
Yeah.
That's it. There's only ever been 2. So Tucapita, take a bow.
It was annoying that he was referred to as a Padre by every national media source yesterday.
Has he ever even played as a Padre?
Yeah, he played 20, 30 games, like 4 or 5.
He played that many?
Maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Before he went to the Pirates, he was on the Padres. And then this whole thing was on the Pirates where he did everything. And then he got signed back to the Padres this last offseason.
Oh, yeah, but he's a current Padre.
He is a current Padre.
Yeah. I mean, it would be the same thing as if I don't know, like Odell Beckham Jr. was signed by the Cowboys, and then all of a sudden it came up that there was indiscrepancy. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
He is a Padre player, and by the way, who cares? Honestly, it's not
1,000,000%.
It's not a reflection on the organization at all. It's a reflection on this dummy who knew better. Guaranteed, he knew better. My guess is this is how it goes. And look, we exist in a corporate structure. And we were just having a discussion about emails a moment ago before this show started.
Stop CCing me on things that got nothing to do with me.
When you get an email, there are some times where it's directed towards you and you're like, oh, this is actionable. I need to do this thing. And then there's sometimes, and anybody who works in the business world understands this, where you get an email and you're like, oh, this is because the company, the corporation, whoever you work for is looking to CYA.
Exactly correct.
Cover your ass.
Yeah.
I have 22,496 CYA emails because I open the ones and take care of the ones that have something to do with me.
So Major League Baseball is a corporation. Major League Baseball is a $1 billion corporation. They are just printing money. When this whole sports betting thing started to gain popularity and traction, especially when it was moved to your phone, I promise you, there were emails, there were meetings, there were seminars held over exactly what the rules state and exactly where you're coloring outside the lines. So you can't convince me that none of these players hadn't been warned to compete in Marcano.
No,
I mean,
it's stupid.
It's just, it is what it is. We're going to see more of it. There hasn't been a star yet. It's been like Jonte Porter of the Toronto Raptors.
Well,
there was a star.
There was, and he had an interpreter.
Well, guys, he didn't place a bet.
Right. I saw some clown.
A federal investigator said he never placed a bet. So, I mean, are you guys questioning the federal investigator?
I saw some clown yesterday online. It was from one of these, I can't even remember the publication, but it was online. It was a clip. He was in front of a microphone, so it looked official. And he was like, you know what would solve the problem and make sure there's never another Tucapita Marcano across all of Major League Baseball or any sport for that matter? Signs in the locker room.
Who said that?
Some clown online. It was like just a video, and I was scrolling through, and I saw he was like on it. He was like, "Guys, I'm gonna solve the problem of betting in sports." Jonte, whatever.
Dude, he was joking.
No, I'm telling you, this guy was.
There's no way. You know what? You want to solve graffiti? Put a sign up.
Yeah.
Please don't spray paint on this wall.
And you know what? And I can talk again. I can talk about this from experience, like as a former NFL player. If there's one thing that I did when I walked into all these NFL locker rooms, including my own, but especially the road visiting locker rooms, was read all the signs. Like, I would stop at each sign. I'd be like, all right, here we are in Cincinnati. We're about to play the Bengals. Let me just go ahead and brush up here on rule number 21, which explicitly states that sports betting is strictly forbidden. And if I sports bet on my own team, I will suffer a lifetime ban from the game. Well, I'll be darned.
Were there a lot of signs in the locker rooms?
Of course, there are a lot of signs in the locker room.
But like, please turn off the water when you're done showering.
Again, all of the signs. Look around your life. I mean, this is true in any business. Again, they are just cover your ass signs. It's so when something goes wrong, they can point to a sign and say, look right here.
Yeah.
Right here. It's in the main hallway. We told them that coffee was going to be hot. And, I mean, it's right there on the sign.
So the last 2 nights, the Padres have been going against left-handed pitching, which over the last 3 weeks, Padres facing left-handed pitching, they've been doomed. They cannot do it for whatever reason. Good news. Tonight, right-hander. Today, right-hander. Jose Soriano is going against the Padres.
All right.
Dylan Cease on the mound for the Pods.
We got this.
I would, generally after a 3-game losing skid, you look and say, okay, who's on the mound for your team? Because you're as good as your next day's starting pitcher, right? That's the old baseball cliche. It's like Dylan Cease is coming out. This is a moment for Dylan Cease to prove he's the stopper. Right, but I just read you guys the historic nature of the starting pitching for the San Diego Padres.
Or is he the Caesar?
I can't believe it. I can't believe you did it. I guess it's my turn for halftime because you got to take a lap.
Golly.
I can't believe you did it. How could I not? Oh, it's your turn. Good.
It's like you get rolling on something and then TD just pull that e-brake, baby.
He can't help himself.
No, it's okay. We love him for it. Don't tell him I said that. Padres fall to the Angels last night 4-2, becoming the first team this year to lose a series in Anaheim other than the Angels. One more against the Angels today. Dylan Cease on the mound for the Pods. In the NFL, we like this one. 49ers signing the reigning offensive player of the year, Christian McCaffrey, to a 2-year extension. That's going to pay the running back $19 million per season. The next highest paid running back, by the way, in case you were wondering. Alvin Kamara makes about $14 a year. Yeah. So $5 million more for Christian McCaffrey.
Earned every cent.
Oh, yeah, that dude's a beast. And the NBA Finals coming up tomorrow. Celtics big man Kristaps Porzingis saying he plans on suiting up for Game 1 against the Mavs, even if he is not 100% healthy, and he is not 100% healthy coming into this series. But does that change anything for you going into this series, how you feel? Because I was on the Mavs. Kristaps Porzingis does add a different wrinkle to this.
Yeah, we'll see how many minutes he's able to play and how productive those minutes are. It can change the way you defend the Mavs, obviously, but overall, he's more of an offensive player. Kristaps Porzingis, you don't really count on him to be a stopper on defense. He's the type of guy who's going to be sweet under the hoop. So we'll see if he can help the Celtics score more. It's just so ridiculous. 10-day wait for the Celtics, 7-day wait for the Mavericks. The finals are finally here. Well, not yet.
Tomorrow.
Not yet.
Tomorrow at 5:30 tip-off on ABC. And by the way, the future head coach of the Lakers is going to be the color analyst for the broadcast, JJ Redick.
Is he actually?
Oh, yeah. There's now rumor, The Athletic is now reporting. So the deal is done, but they can't really do it yet because he has a job to do. But as soon as he's done, then he's going to be the head coach of the Lakers. You get it. Anyways.
Yeah. I've almost forgotten that they're still happening. It's been so long since I felt like there's been basketball. This has been a weird week off, I'm not really ready for it. I guess I'll be pumped up tomorrow.
We got some Daryl Hall tickets. He's playing a show in June. We're going to tell you how to win those tickets in just a little bit. So keep it right here if you're a Daryl Hall fan. Before we run here, want to get into a couple of storylines around OTAs in the NFL. How about this? The Cowboys and CeeDee Lamb are expected to not see each other during minicamp over the looming deal for Lamb. He is seeking a contract extension. He is not expected to attend any mandatory practices this offseason.
Go ahead.
Not seed each other.
That's not even a good one.
Wow.
God, he was so excited about it too. You were reading off your laptop. You couldn't see his face. He had that 15 seconds before he had left his mouth.
Wow. Terrible.
Do you think does CD get paid before the season starts? Because Justin Jefferson just got that contract. I read the stats. Their career stats are actually extraordinarily similar so far over 4 seasons, which they both came out in the same draft class. Is CD going to get the Justin Jefferson contract before this season begins?
It's Jerry Jones' way to pay guys he likes, guys he drafts, and he drafted well with CeeDee Lamb. He's in the last year of a 5th-year option deal. From his rookie contract where he'll be paid $17.9 million guaranteed. But when you look at what Justin Jefferson just got per year, and the fact that he has a large signing bonus attached to it. Yeah, if I'm CeeDee Lamb, I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm not playing football for you until we figure this out, because you could go out there for mandatory minicamps and tear your ACL. And that will tear your contract in half in terms of its value.
How about that draft class, by the way? CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk, Justin Jefferson, all within the same draft class, all in very similar situations right now. Justin Jefferson, the first one to get paid. You got to imagine the other two dominoes happen before this season.
What's crazy, when you start evaluating first round wide receivers, way higher hit rate than quarterbacks, which is obvious. It's a easier position to play. There's not as much that goes on with a wide receiver compared to a quarterback. There's a lot more that can go wrong with a quarterback, but way, way, way better hit rate with wide receivers. Moving on to another storyline. You just mentioned 49ers giving McCaffrey the 2-year deal, $38 million extension. This makes him the highest paid running back. The reigning offensive player of the year gets broke off. Makes sense.
Right. That one makes sense. Makes sense.
He
in
was
a big way. Yeah.
He was everything for that 49ers
Right.
offense a year ago. I mean, when you talk about somebody who's catching the ball as many times as he catches it, is running the ball as many times as he's running it. And do you remember before last season began, Kyle Shanahan had that press conference where he was talking like, yeah, we're actually going to ease Christian into it this year. We're not going to use him a ton early
Right.
on because, you know, really after week 6, that's when you'll start to see a lot more Christian McCaffrey. First 6 weeks of the season, he was touching the ball more than anyone in football.
It was almost every play. $19 million a year almost feels like he's underpaid how much he's used out there.
No question about it. Moving on to the Patriots, my old team, offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt complimenting quarterback Drake May, the Tar Heel, who was the first round draft pick for the Patriots during his offseason training activities, preaching patience, but saying it's looked good so far. Patriots rolling off of a 4-13 season. They're going to be led by first-year head coach Gerard Mayo. Are you guys in or out on Drake May?
Out.
Well,
Out on the
no,
Patriots,
yeah.
not necessarily Drake May.
Yeah, I'm interested to see Drake May. I think that if he's used and when he's used, it's just going to be in such a poor offense. It's not going to go well.
I think he's going to struggle. I think he's going to look bad. I think the offense is going to look bad. They don't have an offensive line. So unless they fix that problem, things are going to be rough goings for Drake May. We'll get to a bunch of other teams. A lot of interesting offseason notes throughout the NFL here as we also weave back into the Padres storyline, which is depressing us all. Oh, gosh.
Well, and I don't really know why it's depressing us because we've already come to this conclusion that they're a 500 team. And as long as they stay around 500 and they can get hot right at the right time, then they're in the playoffs. In fact, season ends today. They're in the playoffs at 500.
Yeah,
It's a sketchy thing to rely on, though.
Well, but that's what we'll do.
Yeah, that's right. You got to keep that flicker of hope burning because who knows? Like, again, if they are a middling team all the way up until the last month of the season and they turn it on, who cares? Honestly, who cares? As long as they have momentum heading into the postseason, that's all I care about.
There is a thin line of difference between a middling team that turns it on at the end of the year and the middling team that falls apart at the end of the year.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
and the
we've seen-
difference can be 1 or 2 games.
Well, the difference could be one injury. I look, you're a heartbeat away from your season changing, and that's true for a lot of teams, but especially with the team as tenuous as the Padres. We'll get to more of those NFL news and notes on the other side, but first, want to talk to you about Prize Picks.
Woof, woof.
Open the app. All right. You have an opportunity to capitalize on some great things happening on the Prize Picks app. So if you're going to open up the app, download it and sign up with promo code DOGS. That's DOGS, bark dogs. That promo code is going to get your first deposit doubled up to $100. And when you do, you can play with stars this NBA
And
postseason.
one of the stars right now, but by the way, the stars on your lineup entries, if you have a star on there, you're getting a 10% payout boost. And one of the stars available to everybody right now is Jason Tatum at a half point for tomorrow's game 1 of the NBA Finals. Include him in your lineup. That is a free spot on the bingo board. Prize Picks is the best. I took advantage of some Taco Tuesday discounts last night. I promise you on Friday, I'm going to be taking advantage of the Flex Friday. The promotions are what gets you into the app, and it's the most fun I've had, winning up to 100 times my money this basketball season with quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types. That's what makes Prize Picks the #1 fantasy sports app.
Stars mean more, and that's exactly what I just did. I get a 10% boost on my winning total here. I took Jason Tatum more than a half point. Obviously, Jason Tatum's going to have more than a half point, but I'm taking less on 24 points by Kyrie Irving. I look at game ones, especially after a long layup, as potentially being a little bit of a slow start offensively for both of these teams. Now, Jason Tatum, I'm sure he's going to have a hotter night than a half point, or I should say 0 points. So I think I'm safe with the more there. I'm taking the less on Kyrie Irving, 24 points. But this is every single night of the week. You have WNBA games available to you. You could put lineups in on darts. You could do Call of Duty. You could do any esports. I've done Korean baseball. Actually, I have an incredible hit rate.
I actually have
Korean
not dipped my toe recently into the esports stuff, but there are some crazy discounts going on with Call of Duty specifically right now on the Prize Picks app. So get over there and check those out, especially if you have a kid who's into that stuff. If you want to make it more interesting for you, Prize Picks.
It's promo code DOGS. That's DOGS, dogs. Actually, don't write it 3 times. Otherwise, it'll just get kicked right back.
One time.
You will not get the promo code. It's one time. DOGS. DOGS. You punch that in when you sign up. You'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. That's DOGS, dogs, at sign up, and you're going to get your first deposit matched up to $100 on Prize Picks. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
The iHeartRadio Music Festival is back out in Las Vegas. It's happening September 20th and 21st. A massive lineup. Big Sean, Camila Cabello, Doja Cat. I like me some Doja Cat. Shabuzi's going to be out there. Look, it's going to be a party. It is every year. The lineup is absolutely insane. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And you can win yourself a trip out there. Airfare, 2 nights hotel, tickets to our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival at the T-Mobile Arena. Like I said, Friday, 9/20 and Saturday, 9/21. Plus, you can get $1,000 cash. You can grab the full lineup at San Diego's. What's our website?
SportsSD.com.
SportsSD.com. Yeah, SportsSD.com. You get the full lineup and you can enter to win there. Also, listen at 9, 1, and 5 if you want to grab a keyword to win.
This update is presented by Macy's. We will begin here with the Padres, who fall to the Angels last night 4-2, becoming the first team this season to lose a series in Anaheim, not named the Angels. One more against the Angels today. Dylan Cease going to be on the mound for the Pods. In the NFL, Niners re-signing the reigning Offensive Player of the Year, Christian McCaffrey, to a 2-year extension. That's going to pay the running back $19 million per season. And with the NBA Finals coming up tomorrow, Celtics big man Kristaps Porzingis says he's planning on suiting up for Game 1 against the Mavs, even if he's not 100% healthy. Find the perfect Father's Day gift with Macy's Gift Finder. In just a couple of clicks, you'll get personalized gift ideas for every dad at every budget. Visit Macy's.com/gift finder and give love today at Macy's. What's your Father's Day gift?
What's my Father's Day gift to my father?
No,
or
for you. Like, what do you want for Father's Day?
For Father's Day, nothing. I don't want anything for Father's Day.
Liar.
I don't even know how to answer that.
You want more wood? We'll get you more wood.
I mean, if I can get some 2x4s, that'd be sweet.
Damn, man. You kidding?
I don't care to have anything. I don't really want to do anything. I don't want to have to do anything.
I ask for
Just
the
like
same
hang
thing
out.
every year. Same thing every year.
Yeah.
World peace. No,
That's right. It's a short prayer and world peace.
short prayer. No, what I usually like to do, if there's time for it, and this Father's Day, I think there's going to be time for it. I like to have breakfast served to me in bed.
Wow.
That
Okay.
breakfast, I want it to be bacon. I want it to be eggs. I want it to be toast with butter and jam. I want to have also sausage. I like pork sausage. Some people like turkey or chicken sausages. Don't waste my time with that.
No, it's same.
I want
Same.
I
I've
want,
never even had it.
I want links, not patties. Like
Same.
I'm specific.
Same.
I'm specific.
Unless it's in a sandwich.
I want a side of maple syrup. I want some sort of pastry. I mean, you could humor me with a croissant. You could dazzle me with a muffin. Shoot, you could tickle my fancy with a little what do they call those things? They got the layers, the fluffy layers. Either way, look, the
Croissant?
Well, I said the
Is
croissant.
it Danish?
Thank you. The Danish. Oh, you put a little of the cream cheese or the jelly.
Come on.
And then after that, if there's good enough weather, I like a beach day on Father's Day where I could kick my feet up, have the kids run around. That's all I ask for. And guess how many Father's Day that's actually happened? Close to none. I think maybe one time. Maybe I ask for the same thing every year. And then Ann, sometimes she'll buy me all these presents, which, by the way, I got my Traeger grill on a Father's Day one
Sweet.
time. I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Little did I know, though, that meant I was going to spend the entire day Father's Day cooking for everybody.
Correct.
I had to
Correct.
put that grill together.
Build it and cook.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Hey, we had to get going. Oh gosh, but yeah, it's coming up quick.
During the break here, you weren't in here, and Fletch said that next summer he's taking a trip abroad. He wants to go to Europe. I guess it's a family trip to Europe. And
Yeah, I think the
asked-
whole Fletcher family is going out to Europe
So I said, how are you going to do that if Kendall's pregnant?
because
Point.
she's not pregnant.
Such a good point, dude.
But are you?
Well, because maybe she's going to be nursing her newborn child.
Yes, exactly.
You guys do this thing.
And then you went on to say, oh, then the following year we want to go back to Ireland and Scotland. And I thought, is there with two babies?
I will say this: do it now, like right now. In fact, you should book
you
that
probably
trip.
book it now.
Yeah, because she's still early in the pregnancy, so it's cool to travel. Like you just do it now.
Right.
This way you knock it out before the kids come up. Because I'm telling you, we one time, this is a true story. Annie and I, for my birthday, actually, she bought it way ahead of time. Really sweet gift. It was the year we got engaged. She bought us tickets to go to Europe. And the only thing that could potentially get in the way, because my birthday is in February, she booked the trip for February. We were going to, sort of go around London, see all the sites in Italy, spend time in France before heading back to London, flying back out of Heathrow. The only thing that could get in the way was the Super Bowl. I went to the Super Bowl with the New England Patriots that year. And so we never planned a European trip since, and we've never gone to Europe. So you got to do it now before the kids show up.
I don't got to worry about the Super Bowl.
Well, not the
No,
Super Bowl,
but
the
like with Rich's track record, if you booked a Europe vacation, you may go back to the Super Bowl.
I'm hoping. That's what we're hoping for. Daddy needs some playoff checks.
How about our buddy Paris on YouTube says, for Father's Day, all I want is a tomahawk steak and a potato.
Oh, sweet.
And a potato.
Yeah, that's
For me
I'm
to
jammed
do
down
what
with
I
that.
choose with.
A raw potato.
One raw potato, please. You could cook the tomahawk steak.
Yeah.
Um,
I could use a tomahawk.
yeah, but actually,
Right.
who can't
Just a
honestly,
cool tomahawk.
use an axe every once in a while?
Right.
We have some more news and notes around the NFL offseason to get to here. We should. And then in a little while, we're going to be giving away those Daryl Hall tickets. So if your dad for Father's Day is a Daryl Hall fan,
Right.
I mean, this show is a good show to listen to. We're giving away a pair of tickets.
So Daryl Hall, I think, has a beard now.
Smile.
John Oates has a fatty mustache.
Dude, the mustache is the way to go with Hall Notes.
Right.
Always said that.
Right. But
Were
I
they the
mean,
ones with tigers?
What? I think
No,
that
you're-
was Siegfried and
You're thinking
Roy.
of magicians.
Yeah.
No, there were some singers that had tigers.
I love how you're
Garfunkel, maybe?
You mean on the album cover?
Simon and Garfunkel?
There may have been an album cover with tigers, but I don't think it's part of the act. I think that's magicians.
You guys want to hear about Tua Tagovailoa? So the Dolphins quarterback said he's not concerned at all about his contract. He's confident he and the team will reach an extension before the start of the regular season, although the process has taken longer than expected. Speaking to media around the Dolphins, this per ESPN, after first day of mandatory minicamp yesterday, it was a noticeably terse Tagovailoa. Said that he has taken notes of recent contracts around the NFL at his position. So,
Well, I
what
mean,
Tua is telling to the Miami brass is, hey, listen, if y'all think I'm going to be cheap,
right.
you got another thing coming.
Right.
Is he worth it?
Ooh.
Like if you had to, I know Colin and J-Mac did this yesterday, and Tua was pretty low on the list. But if you were to do like a quarterback draft, where would Tua fall? Because I feel like it's so circumstantial in Miami. Like it's all set up perfectly for Tua to have success.
I think he's a very intelligent guy, and you need to have intellect to play the position. I worry about his durability for obvious reasons. He was injured leaving college. He's been injured in the NFL.
We thought he was going to maybe retire at some point because of that scary season. Was that 2 years ago now?
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, I
Yeah,
look.
that was
I've major concerns about Tua.
Tua or Dak.
I think I would take Dak over Tua, to be honest with you. Look, I mean, they're similar though.
Yeah,
They are similar. I mean, we're talking about very similar players. Look, the problem with Tua, the problem with Dak, you're gonna have to pay him. So I promise you, this guy's gonna have a contract nearing or over $50 million.
And the problem with that is if you dedicate that much money to Tua, well, you don't have the $30 million a year to spend on a Tyreek Hill, which is how much better does Tyreek Hill make Tua Tagovailoa?
Right. Also, does he wait for a Dak deal? Because that sure would sweeten the pot for Tua.
It's possible. I mean, you're going to get a much more disgruntled Tua Tagovailoa if you get closer and closer to the start of the season without a contract. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Let's see. Let's bounce around a little bit. Oh, how about this? Bears. So Keenan Allen is obviously with the Bears. It'll be DJ Moore also alongside of him. Rome Odunze on the outside. A lot of weapons for Caleb Williams to throw to. It's been an up and down camp for the first overall draft pick with the Bears. I mean, there have been reports certain days going really well, certain days going really not well.
And sometimes the reports, when you read them, go, oh my gosh. But then it turns out that that's not a verified report. It's very odd. This is a very strange offseason so far.
There's so much hype around him that I think anything is going to get traction, right? Any bad throw that he makes in practice, any interception he makes in a routine drill is going to make huge headlines because it's Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to know nothing close to the truth of Caleb Williams until I think Hard Knocks like episode 3, maybe.
I'm going to read a sentence to you or a couple, and then I want you to delete it from your brain, and I'll tell you why in a second. With the full complement of his weapons around him, Williams completed 13 of 16 passes, but struggled against the Bears' starting defense during the 2-minute and blitz period. An interception he threw to Kevin Byard on 7-7 when Williams took an extra hitch, which resulted in the ball being thrown late over the middle. Okay, so
Already deleted.
that paragraph right there means nothing. Here's the problem with practice. What are you doing at practice? You're sharpening your skills so that when the game comes, everything's easier.
Right.
So you're putting your offense sometimes in impossible situations that you're not going to see on a football field when you're actually playing football. Look, no team is going to blitz you on every single snap. They're just not going to do it. but during a blitz period, that is literally what you're doing.
Mhm.
You're testing the resilience of your offense against a defense that is trying to get home. I get it. It seems like all this is really important, and it is. But when you're giving me 13
what-
of 16,
yeah,
get the hell out of
13
here.
of 16 completions, that's without the defense, though? Shouldn't you be 16 for 16?
Wait, oh, no.
It's soft defense, right? It's just
Well,
not
no, no.
defense that's in his
Just
face.
saying.
No, it was against the starting defense. But again, by the way, it's against a defense who's not wearing shoulder pads. They're all running around like
It's flag football.
Minicamp is so dumb. The off-season training activities in the NFL are so dumb. You have no idea what kind of football team you have, or frankly, what kind of rookies you have during minicamp outside of mental aptitude, because you can see how they react when a little pressure is applied. But for veterans, especially this part of the season, it annoys me so much. That's great. He threw 13 completions to guys wearing their underwear out there.
It is funny to think like the most important part about OTAs or mandatory minicamps is who's not there. You don't really care about the guys who are there, because how hard is everyone really working? They're coming off vacation. They probably still got an extra couple pounds on that they need to shave off before the season.
Well, we're going to need you to come into the office.
Yes.
That's what this is.
That's exactly right. It's like, could we just put eyeballs on you? Make sure that you haven't been eating your face off.
Every once in a while, you get a story like what's going on in Houston right now, where you're kind of like, oh, I forgot that this even happened. But Stephon Diggs is a Houston Texan. And
He is.
that's something a couple days ago when we did our who are you most excited to watch this season, who are you least? The Texans were pretty high on my list. Part of that reason is because CJ Stroud has freaking Stephon Diggs to throw to, and Stephon Diggs talked to the media for the first time yesterday, and he's happy. And we haven't heard a happy Stephon Diggs in 3 years.
Yeah, he said when I got to Buffalo, Josh was still is my guy. People don't really understand what it's like to be out there. He really embraced me. We spent a lot of time together. I probably wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for him. The problem with Stephon Diggs is he said the same thing about Kirk out there in Minnesota. He said the same thing about Josh. Stephon Diggs is loyal to one thing and one thing only. Stephon Diggs.
Right.
And I don't blame him. Look, get while the getting's
Well,
good.
Sort of. I mean, if you want to win, you're going to have to take the eyeballs off you a little bit.
Oh, listen. If you're gonna win, that's a very different story. Like, yeah,
But I guess getting paid is winning.
Well, he is winning financially because he came to Houston, and what they did is they basically took his contract and went, you know what? Instead of giving you this money over the last couple of years, why don't we just give it to you all at once? And then you're a free agent next year. And he was like, that sounds good to me. So,
Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell. Is that arguably?
which comedian did we have on who went, yum, yum, yum?
Oh, that was
TJ Miller.
TJ Miller. Yeah.
Ooh, yum, yum, yum.
But the three of those
An
guys,
extra $6 million? Yum,
you
yum,
make-
yum.
I said that for 3 days straight. Now I'm going to be back on that.
can you make an argument? Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell. Is that the best group of 3 wide receivers in the NFL?
It's listen, I'm not turning my nose up at it. The main reason is CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
Because I mean, who was thinking Tank Dell would have the kind of season he would have, or Nico Collins in his 3rd year as a pro would step into the limelight the way he did? CJ
Freaking
Stroud,
Noah Brown was a stud with the
Dude,
Texans last year.
it made no sense.
He did like 4 or 5 years with the Cowboys where he put up very average numbers, goes to the Texans one time with CJ Stroud. He has a career year.
Yeah,
Tell you
CJ
what.
Stroud special.
What makes no sense? You remember Freckles from Lost? Evangeline Lilly.
Oh,
she's
yeah,
the
big
Wasp.
fan.
She's retiring.
Like
From-
done
wait,
from
She's
acting?
done. She doesn't want to act anymore.
Wait a second, I haven't seen her in anything since Lost.
Dude, no.
She was
Ant-Man and the
Ant- yeah,
Wasp.
she was the Wasp
she was in the
lady.
Hobbit movies.
She was?
Yeah,
Wait
the
a
newer
second.
Lord of the Rings movies, The Hobbit.
What did she do in that?
She was Legolas's girlfriend.
Was she a hobbit?
No,
Did
she
have
was an
big
elf.
feet?
She was an elf.
She had little pointy ears.
She looked good too.
Okay. Oh yeah, dude.
What?
I loved, and I mean loved, the wasp suit.
Oh,
in that
right.
mo-
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I forgot how much I liked it. Yeah, no, she's a babe.
She's done.
Why did you bring this up?
Saw it.
Okay, moving right along.
Popped up.
We got to get to this. So staying in the NFL. Nick Sirianni, head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, he has an interesting way to poke the bear, or should I say the giant. That's next.
Want to get in touch with us? Well, you can very, very easily with the Talkback mic. While you're listening on the free iHeartRadio app, you'll see a microphone on the lower right-hand side. Tap that microphone, send us a message, a shout out, a Yelp review, whatever you want to do, or ask us a question, and then we'll get you on the air only on the free iHeartRadio app.
Big Rich, TD and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. Daryl Hall tickets promised to you in the 7 o'clock hour. So if you want to see him this June in San Diego, you're going to have to be listening here coming up. On the other side, we'll get back to the Padres, a little NBA talk as well. You'll hear from Nick Sirianni, the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. But first, I want to talk to you about a couple of folks who have done so much for this show.
Interested?
Wayne and Chloe.
Very interested.
You've heard us talk about this before. Let me talk about where I was when I started with Wayne and Chloe. I was 308 pounds. I was a cheeseburger away from putting my hand back in the dirt and getting a 3-point stance and trying to block people because I was at my playing weight, folks.
Whammy.
Yeah, it was no bueno. I looked like a melting vanilla pudding pop. I looked like an overstretched lawn bag that had way too many leaves in it. Just twigs poking through.
I think if you would have tried to block at the NFL level, you actually would have just absorbed people as they tried to rush your quarterback.
Oh, it's true.
They would have gotten lost in the sauce of your belly.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That's very kind.
You're welcome.
It's like Slimer from Ghostbusters. Just, oh my God. Oh my God.
He's a part of me.
He's a part of me now, forever.
It's like you finally figured out how to block Von Miller.
Yeah, well, actually, it's the search continues for that.
He finally
It's an
figured out
answer
how to block some of the pastries.
That's exactly what I did with Wayne and Chloe. They gave me the roadmap to a better lifestyle. It's really simple too. It seems really difficult when you've tried a bunch of different things. Weight loss can be tricky. We've all been there on this show, but with Wayne and Chloe, within the first week, I lost 14 pounds. That's not a lie. I even called Chloe. You can ask her when you talk to her and say, yeah, what did Rich say to you exactly? What I said to her was, is it okay that I've lost this much weight? I was nervous. She was like, yeah, you're going to be fine. You've got a lot to lose, so you're going to be just fine. And that's the thing. Sometimes you don't realize how long you've had this weight attached to you and how much that honestly your body wants to get rid of it. And it's just a couple of little tweaks that your body's been waiting for you to make. And then all of a sudden the weight just pours off. And that's what happened with the three of us. I lost over 35 pounds. Travis lost over 30. Fletch is down. He's nearing 50 pounds lost. It's pretty impressive. Okay. And we've kept the weight off. And the way we've done it with SC Fat Loss, the natural way. You sign up today, mention the show name, Big Rich TD and Fletch. You save $200. More show coming up next.
What up? Hour 2, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. This update presented by the West Automotive Group. Padres fall to the Angels last night 4-2, becoming the first team this season to lose a series in Anaheim, not named the Angels. One more against the Angels today. Dylan Cease on the mound for the Pods. In the NFL, Christian McCaffrey, 2-year extension with the 49ers. He's the reigning offensive player of the year, and he's getting paid $19 million per season. And with the NBA Finals beginning tomorrow, Celtics big man Kristaps Porzingis says he plans on suiting up for Game 1. Protect your family with superior vehicle service and repair from the West Automotive Group with a 3-year, 100,000-mile transmission warranty. You know you're in safe hands. Visit westautomotivegroup.com and book your service today.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch solving the world's problems over here.
It's getting deep.
Yeah. San Diego Sports 760. Happy Wednesday to those who celebrate. Happy hump day to you all.
I don't know if you want to simulcast with News Radio 600 Coco, but we are coming up with some strategies over here.
I'll tell you what, we're going all the way back to like the early 2000s elections, talking about candidates and their proposals to save the finances of this country.
You guys talking W?
No.
It was deeper.
Way deeper. A way deeper cut. Trust me when I tell you, you don't want to enter this studio when TD and we're going back and forth on politics.
Yeah, smells like farts.
yeah, a lot of really smart things being said over here. Okay, so check this out. The Padres, they are the first team other than the Angels who have lost a series in Anaheim. Let that wash over you for a second as you prepare to hear our morning monologues, because mine is going to be very Padre-esque. I'm sure TD and Fletch have some genius thoughts to share with you from last night as well. Before we get to the Padres and before we get to morning monologues, however, let's talk about the fact that Christian McCaffrey has done something that few players, in my opinion, have done, and has become something that I frankly think everybody thought he was going to be when he was drafted originally by the Carolina Panthers, but he just couldn't get there. Christian McCaffrey was an often injured, amazing running back in Carolina. Carolina is like an afterthought of this league, however. Cam Newton years were cool with Ron Rivera. He had an MVP year. Christian McCaffrey crushed it for a couple of those years.
Luke Kuechly was sick.
Luke Kuechly was an animal. That defense was real. They had edge rushers. They had a lot going for them. But unfortunately, the thing about being a star in Carolina is there's only really room for one star. And that was Cam. When you go to a big market like San Francisco, like one of the New York teams, if you go to Dallas, if you go to LA now, like there can be room for more stars, because trust me, people want to attach themselves to more of those stars. And so he goes out to San Francisco, and not only does he find a way to stay healthier, because this has been the healthiest stretch of his career.
Yeah.
But he has found a way in an offense that has an unbelievable amount of talent to have some of his most productive years.
What are you grinning over here?
Trying to knock on wood. He said it's the healthiest stretch of his career. I'm like, just God, don't jinx us.
What? I didn't know what was happening as you were pointing all over the place.
He was panicking.
Yeah, it was panic.
I thought he was playing the drum solo from Phil Collins in the Air tonight. But either way, I mean, like, think about how many trades go wrong, or how many veterans get traded to a new team, a big city. They have their opportunity to get out of maybe the doldrums of a team that has, they haven't had the best luck. Think of Amari Cooper going from the Dallas Cowboys to the Browns. He's kind of faded. He's kind of fallen off the edge of the earth. Some of that has to do with their quarterback room. I understand that. But like, there's a lot of names that have popped in places. And then after the trade, you're like, and where did they go? I mean, Christian McCaffrey, holy cow.
He's elevated his career. There's a real chance in 10 years from now, you're talking about Christian McCaffrey, the Hall of Famer. And I don't know that would have happened if he fizzled in Carolina. But now, with this team, with the high-powered offense, with just a little bit less attention on him, and they still pay him a ton of attention, he's able to just flourish, man. And he's special when he's running with the football. It never is one guy that can tackle him. It's always the second or the third. And then when he's in space, forget about it. Dude's awesome. 91 days, 16 hours, 53 minutes, 43 seconds. Christian McCaffrey gets paid. I don't know what that means for Brandon Ayuk. I really don't. Like, I read some analysis of the 49ers cap situation, which actually isn't terrible, as surprising as that sounds. But since they let go of the Eric Armstead contract, it's actually kind of fixable. But the problem with the Brandon Ayuk deal, is he is now in that ilk of the Justin Jefferson contract. They came out the same draft year. Their stats over the last 2 seasons have been comparable, not over the career, but Brandon Ayuk's going to be looking for top dollar.
I'm not going to say a name, but I've heard this story many times, and I'm sure people have talking about this on the radio here in San Diego. But after the Xander Bogaerts deal, a certain Padre went, oh, they can pay him, but not me.
I remember that.
Yeah, you could connect those dots. Okay, so with Christian McCaffrey getting that huge contract extension, Brandon Ayuk not participating in OTAs. Then you look over on the defense, Shavarius Ward waiting for a deal. He's a pending free agent. He's attending offseason training activities. He's at mandatory minicamp, all those things. He's actually been questioned about this. He's like, look, I'm just going to do my job, go out there and ball and put the pressure on them. Hopefully they give me the bag. That is a direct quote.
And he was one of the best corners in all of football last year. Like, the Niners do have a lot of things to figure out here. And you have the luxury of having Brock Purdy as your quarterback. And he's not making very much money. And he's not asking for a new contract right now because he understands that the rest of these contracts need to get figured out if he's to have success.
Do you think he understands that and he's not asking for a new contract?
That's what he said.
Yeah.
He said they got a lot to figure out this
I know.
offseason. So
Yeah,
he's not going to worry about his contract until next year.
There's no way he's not thinking about getting paid.
Right, but he needs all these guys around him to make him look as good as he did a year ago. So that
I
next
agree.
year, when it's his contract
I agree.
negotiations, he's able to ask for a little bit more.
I agree.
The fact of the matter is, I think they have to prioritize Brandon Ayuk. I really do. And I think that if you're going to have to pay him the Justin Jefferson contract, it might not be worth it in the long run, but you got to keep him in the building.
I don't disagree that you're going to need downfield threats and capable receiving targets for Brock Purdy to continue this reign of success you've had in division, but over the course of time in this conference as well. The reality is Deebo Samuel, he's getting up there in age and his body's breaking down a little bit.
Get him out. I'm okay with it.
It's feeling like we're almost getting a trade time with Deebo.
I think so too. And I think the Steelers want one of these wide receivers.
Yeah.
They want Brandon Ayuk or Deebo Samuel. And it doesn't necessarily matter which one they get. Because if you get Deebo, it's a little bit cheaper. If you get Brandon, you have a cornerstone wide receiver for the next 5-6 years.
Where's Deebo go?
Steelers.
That's where you think he goes. I mean, it's possible. I don't necessarily even know if it happens this season. Like maybe you can make the cap work for you if you sign. I mean, you'd have to give up a significant amount of guaranteed money if you sign Brandon Ayuk to an extension. And then, oh, by the way, you want to have Ward on the team after this season. But if you do trade away one of them, and like you just mentioned and pointed out, I do think it would be Deebo over Ayuk, just from a standpoint of age and fragility and things like that. You could get a pretty decent draft pick for Deebo, maybe a couple.
Yeah.
And you can move off of him and that salary, which is a high salary. And then all of a sudden, the door's open to continue this reign of success because Brock Purdy's still cheap. I got a Padres morning monologue. I want to save it. Do either of you two want to go TD? Fletch, TD?
Mine's also a Padres monologue.
Fletch?
Mine's not.
Okay.
Cool. I'll be the
Evangeline
weird one
Lilly.
today. I wish, man. I love her. I thought she was great in Lost.
Freckles.
Yeah.
Freckles.
She done, son.
Her and Sawyer had that sexual chemistry the whole time, but it was like, will they, won't they?
And
Oh
I
my
was like,
God.
every time I watch, I was like, I don't know who's hotter.
Where's the black smoke? What's going on? Okay, my morning monologue is actually it's coming out of jealousy. So my nephew Dan is in town right now, and I got to hang out with him for a long time.
His
yesterday.
wife is pregnant.
No, Dan is 4 years old. So relax.
That's a lot of jokes.
Why are you turning your mic off? Oh my God, I could hear that. I turned my mic off just in case, and I'm glad I did.
You took your mic off?
Yeah, just in case it came over. Like this isn't that soundproof anymore.
They call it Dan the Rooster Man.
Yeah.
Anywho, I fall one time on like a hike, and I snap my leg in half. I saw Dan eat it bad yesterday, falling from like the top of a little bit of a staircase off a planter in the backyard at the Airbnb and
Rough.
fall right on his face. Dude gets a little bloody nose. He's fine. 15 minutes later.
Oh, yeah.
Why are kids so malleable?
their bones are rubber, their joints are they're made of nothing until much later in life. It is unbelievable what you watch your children survive through.
And your kids are madmen. I mean, I can't even. They're jumping off trampolines every day. How have you not had an emergency room trip?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I have no idea. The other day, we're playing in the backyard. We've literally purchased crash pads. Like we're training stuntmen in our backyard because our kids were swinging on the swing and launching themselves so high in the air that we're like, we have like a turf backyard. I'm like, one of these kids is going to snap an ankle. So we bought these crash pads thinking like, oh, well, this will help. This has not helped.
Do they just hit each other with the pads?
No, they're giant. They're too heavy for them to really pick up. Like they weigh as much as the kids. They're like hefty, big old. I'll take a picture of it tonight. So what Ty has gotten the habit of doing now, my 8-year-old, is running at the crash pad head first and using his neck instead of his hands to spring him into a forward front handspring,
Makes
but it's
sense.
a neck spring.
Makes sense.
Dude, it's one of the most terrifying things you've ever watched, but at the same time, you're like, that's cool. And you only got like maybe 3 more years to pull that off, and you're gonna have a really thick neck. You're gonna be
That's
like
what I used to do as a kid.
You're gonna be like Uncle TD.
So I guess I just wish I had baby bones.
yeah, baby bones are cool. Baby bones don't break typically.
Little bendy bend.
Yeah, a little bend in that. Yeah, listen, he doesn't have to worry about acorns. So I mean,
Yeah,
if they have oak
Thank
trees
God.
For now.
hang over the
Thank God.
Airbnb backyard, he can go collect them. Really hazard free.
Second part of my Morty monologue. Guess what I'm throwing on the grill tonight? TD's gonna love this.
What's that?
Tuna steaks.
He's not gonna love that.
What?
He hates
like-
tuna.
You know what you do
No,
with
I
tuna
love
steaks?
tuna
TD? You
from
just
a
go.
can.
That's it.
Yeah, and then you go, and then scrape it into the garbage can.
No, not quite that.
That's, no,
Yeah,
I'm
eat it.
I'm good. I looked at a can of tuna. I'm all in. I'm all in. But a tuna steak,
You don't.
No desire.
You don't love the idea.
no,
of that,
no desire at all. You want me to go? My
Yeah, you go for
Look, okay. The Dodgers, the Yankees, they have coast to coast appeal.
it. Yeah.
I mean, literally, you can drive across this country and see Yankee hats and Dodger hats all 4 corners. They're everywhere. Peter Seidler, I believe, when he was putting together this team last season, this monumental team last season, not only the desire to bring a championship here to San Diego, but the desire to have that same feeling. I mean, San Diego is a hell of a city. It seems nostalgic. I love what they do. Petco Park, one of the best places to see, if not the best place to see a baseball game in the country. It's beautiful. The window's closing here. The window is closing to be that coast to coast beloved team because you're not winning. Not only you're not winning, 500 is boring. It's boring. So Padres, if you want to become a superstar team that is loved from coast to coast, that this is supposed to be our time, that multiple championships were coming to San Diego because that's what Peter Seidler promised. And I believe that he was willing to do whatever it took to make that work. That door is closing. And at 500, losing to the Angels 2 in a row here, staring at the edge of a sweep, it feels like there is barely a crack in the door for me to have hopes that this team is going to make a run in the playoffs. Now, that will change. I know I'm on the roller coaster when they win a few, but I can tell you right now, that feeling of being loved coast to coast, almost gone.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I really forgot about the branding of the Padres, which was growing in popularity during the waning years of Peter's life.
They were electric.
Dude, COVID season,
It was
Oh, it's
incredible.
fun.
they were America's favorite baseball team for a little bit. Fernando Tatis Jr. was on the front of every single baseball thing possible. Mercedes ads, Gatorade
He
ads.
was on the show.
Yeah, he was the cover of the show. That's
mean,
the last one I bought, by the
Think
way.
of it this way. During the 2010s, the San Francisco Giants were so cool. They were so cool
Right.
that everybody wanted. Remember their closer, Wilson? Was it Brian
Brian
Wilson?
Wilson.
Brian
he
Wilson.
was wore his like jersey like I wear my Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah,
And now he's a sales manager at iHeart. Go on.
Yeah. But
Fear the beard.
He fear the beard, dude. My cousin, who was born a Yankees fan, I grew up in New York. He was born a Yankees fan, loved the Yankees. He bought a Giants jersey. He was like, my second favorite team is Giants. I'm like, why? He's like, because of the beard. He grew his beard out. Like, I'm telling you, the Padres could have been that team of the 2020s and maybe still can.
Yeah.
But that window, that door, as you put it, is closing. Mine is a Padres monologue as well. Here's my thoughts. Okay, so Adam Major, who's the number 5 prospect in the Padres farm system, comes up, makes his debut on the road in Anaheim, and he throws a beautiful first game of his career. He has 6 innings. He walks 4. He gets jammed up a couple of times, but only 2 hits allowed.
77 pitches. Like it was as good as you could have asked for.
As good. I mean, honestly, if he was a more veteran pitcher, you may have tempted fate and put him out there for a third time through the lineup, and had him potentially even. He was sneaking up on some opportunities to see him go the distance. Look, I mean, the 6th inning, that's saying a lot, but you catch my drift here. Like, Adam Major looked good. And this Padres offense did nothing for him. It's just so annoying is the word for it. It's just such a clawing, nagging, bad taste in your mouth. It's such a, unsatisfying or dissatisfying feeling to know that there are players on this team who are really, really, really looking good for this organization. But a lot of them are like, they're the also-rans. They're the people who get none of the attention. I want this show to be like the unofficial bullhorn for the guys like Jurickson Profar, for the guys like Adam Major, for the guys who really are okay, so for example, Adam Major gets a headline here. You know who got the headline in Waldron's start? It was Machado, because he hit a homer in the first inning. Yeah, there you go. We're the bullhorn. Let's do it. I don't want to give Machado love for this season. I don't feel like doing that. Like, Machado, talk about Matt Waldron.
Mm-hmm.
That's who should have been talked about after that game. Matt Waldron is the one who had the good game. Machado hit a first inning home run. The Padres offense did nothing in that game to support Matt Waldron. Adam Major. Thank goodness that the headlines were focused on Adam Major, because he deserves it. This team would be nowhere if it weren't for guys like Jackson Merrill stepping up early in the season, Adam Major stepping in and having a good start, even though it resulted in a loss. Jurickson Profar having a good season. I mean, what's his name? Solano.
Right.
I mean, like, what are we doing? Why are we giving credit where undue credit where credit should not be applied? It's undue credit. It's driving me crazy.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I don't know. Are you doing it because you have to feed the beast?
I guess if you don't mention Tatis, and we're guilty of it too. If you don't mention Tatis, if you don't mention Machado, if you don't talk about them as stars of this Padres roster, maybe you're not fulfilling.
Well,
maybe you're not respecting what they've done for the franchise to date, but so far this season, it hasn't been enough.
Well, part of it, of our mentioning of these top players who haven't performed, is we're hoping and grasping onto something that when they have a good day, you mention them because you want that to be the start of a heater. You want that to be the start of the on-ramp to having the rest of the season be fantastic. So that's why I believe that we pull them out, but I don't know. Some of these stories, who knows?
No, it is nice that those two guys, Fernando and Manny, have been heating up as of late, I guess. But what does it translate to? Because yesterday was a bunch of singles and no runs. 913 owes the show a lap. Losing that game yesterday is major BS.
It's a good one.
TD, I'm a little disappointed you didn't think of that.
Well, I was trying to think of a nickname for him. I was like, how about Colonel Major?
But I think the most frustrating thing you see is the bottom 3 of your rotation, Michael King, Matt Waldron, and then yesterday, Adam Major. They give you 3 gems in a row and you lose all 3 of those games. Like, that is flip-flop to how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to rely on the Dylan Ceases and the healthy Joe Musgrove and Yu Darvish when they're out there to kind of be the guys that'll carry you to a win, right? You don't need to rely on Michael King or Matt Waldron or Adam Major to carry you to a win. You just need them to do enough,
You
eat
know-
some innings.
You know what's really
And you lose all 3 of those games when each of those 3 guys go 6 innings, 1 run or fewer.
you want to hear something that's going to infuriate you?
Bring it on.
Do you know who's leading the majors in batting average?
Is it?
The majors?
That was actually a good one.
Or do you mean as a team or as an individual?
As a team.
Is it the San Diego Padres?
It's the San Diego Padres. Do you want to know what their OPS is in terms of ranks in Major League Baseball? They're in the top 10. So the Padres are 9th in OPS over the course of their season. They're first in batting average. This team is a 500 baseball team.
Right.
You know what that means? It means they're not clutch. It means that they're hitting the ball too many times in games where they're already winning and not even close to enough in these 1-run or 2-run ball games that they're losing to the dregs of Major League Baseball, like the Anaheim Angels.
And they're leaving them on. Just
Exactly.
leaving them on base.
I mean, again, last night, 2 for 7, runners in scoring position. Like, it's infuriating to see guys on second and third and watch player after player after star not performing when you're able to put the pressure on a team.
You know what we need?
What is that?
Someone to lift our spirits.
Who's that?
Joe Moon.
Joe Moon.
Even though
We gotta
Joe
talk
Moon is
back.
telling me that yesterday was the
you.
worst day of his life and he wanted to drop a talk back about it. So
On the-
let's
on the-
just
on the talk back mic.
on the talk back, Mike. Let's just get real down and dirty.
He-
He's
wait, so
referring to his son's little league team, by
Yeah,
the way, that he
and
coaches.
he went undefeated, and then they took their first loss in the championship game,
That's
and
what it
it's
sounds like.
double elimination. Man, I feel like they can pull this out still, which sometimes I don't feel that way with the Padres.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, the talkback mic is available to everyone. Joe Moon knows how to find it. We hear it from him a couple of times a week. But if you ever want to vent your frustrations about the Padres, if you ever want to ask us a question, by the way, and it doesn't have to be sports related. You could ask us anything you want, and we will answer that question. You just hit us up on the talkback mic. It's in the bottom corner of the free iHeartRadio app when you're listening to the station. It's actually right next to the play button.
You want one more?
Yeah, let's
Well,
hear one
someone taught my nieces and nephews how to use the talk back, Mike.
more. Okay.
It's a lot more of that.
We miss you.
I love you. You can hear Papa Fletcher in the background going, tell them we miss them. Tell them to avoid the acorns in the parking lot.
Your Uncle Ben?
Yeah.
He's a rice guy.
Dude, yeah,
Yeah,
like the
boy.
rice. The orange box.
What? Is that still around? Did that get canceled?
Hey, it could have gone
Yeah,
canceled.
I don't remember.
Am
Yeah.
I canceled?
Nah, maybe.
Not yet.
Not
Well,
yet.
Only the uncle
Close.
party. is-
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You know who's never going to be canceled? Dr. Jordan Colby, Ocean View Dental. I can tell you that right now. Ocean View Dental is the place for you if you have any dentistry issues. If you just have a cavity that needs taken care of, if you're due for your next teeth cleaning, if you got a major oral surgery that you're nervous about, you want to get a second opinion about, you want to get a first opinion about, go to Ocean View Dental, meet with Dr. Jordan Colby and his incredible staff. I love going to this office. First and foremost, it's comfortable, family-friendly atmosphere. You sit in the chair, you got a view of the Pacific Ocean. Dr. Jordan Colby is at this for so many years, and people from all over Southern California flock to his door to have him service them because he's great at what he does. Not good, great. So I had a former dentist, and I needed extensive oral surgery. They told me the whole process would take 1.5 years, and I was super nervous. I was like, where do I even get started? I went to Dr. Jordan Colby for a second opinion. He goes, we could do this in 3 months. He goes, I have no idea why your former dentist told you it would take 1.5 years. I have no idea why you have to go to 4 different dentist offices to get this procedure done. He was like, you're coming to one place and one place only. It's my office, and it's only going to be twice. And that's exactly what happened. Dr. Jordan Colby was a miracle worker with my situation. He can be a miracle worker for you. Actually, in fact, go to oceanviewdental.net. Again, if you're looking for oral surgery, if there's something that you need done, an implant, a tooth extraction, whatever, and go see the before and afters. They will blow your mind. But again, if you just need something usual, ordinary, teeth cleaning, cavity, doesn't matter. Ocean View Dental is your place. They got an office in Oceanside. They got an office in Fallbrook. They offer the same exact care. Again, that website, oceanviewdental.net.
That's right. The free iHeartRadio app. Make sure you have that downloaded to whatever device you own. That way you can take us with you wherever you go. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch right in your pocket. San Diego Sports 760, wherever you are, only on the free iHeartRadio app.
This update is presented by the West Automotive Group. We will begin here with the Padres, who fall yesterday 4-2 to the Angels in Anaheim. They have lost the series to the Angels. That's the first time this year the Angels have won a series at home. Dylan Cease on the mound today for the Padres day game in Anaheim. In the NFL, 49ers signing the reigning Offensive Player of the Year, Christian McCaffrey, to a 2-year extension, which is going to pay the running back $19 million per year. And with the NBA Finals beginning tomorrow, Celtics big man Kristaps Porzingis says he's back. He's suiting up for Game 1 against the Mavs, even if he isn't 100% healthy. Protect your family with the superior vehicle service and repair from the West Automotive Group with a 3-year, 100,000-mile transmission warranty. You know you're in safe hands. Visit westautomotivegroup.com and book your service today.
Daryl Hall going to be out at the Cal Coast Credit Union Amphitheater June 16th. You want deets? Looking for seats? Go to Ticketmaster.com, or you keep it locked in here, because in the next few minutes, we are going to tell you exactly what you need to do if you would like to win a pair of those tickets.
I love that. Love Daryl Hall. Can't wait to give those away. So I would be listening for the next 8 minutes specifically if you want to find out how to win those tickets. All right, we do it every Wednesday. It's red pill, blue pill. We're going to start one up for the dads out there. We talked about this a little bit on our afternoon show. We do the rock show on 101.5 KGB. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch goes from 3 to 7 over there in the afternoon. So if you're listening in the morning, you want to hear more of us in the afternoon, join us on 101.5 KGB. But for the dads out there, red pill, your daughter goes to the beach wearing a skimpy bikini. Blue pill, your daughter goes to prom wearing a real skimpy dress. What are you more comfortable with in terms of your daughter?
Am I at the beach?
You know, I didn't specify. Let's say yeah, you're at the beach.
Golly. That makes it hard.
I'm going to take myself out of this one because I don't have a daughter, and it's going to sound creepy if I talk about high school girls.
No.
Pretty soon.
Why would you be out of
Yeah, why would you out?
Because I don't.
It's actually creepier that you're excluding yourself.
You can't make a call.
I would like
now.
everyone to wear parkas all day long.
Hypothetically, if you had a daughter, would you rather she wears a skimpy bikini at the beach or a real skimpy dress?
I can't
going
talk
to
about
prom?
this because I've been told by the law I am not allowed to talk about preteens anymore.
I don't have a kid.
Who the hell cares?
Rich doesn't have a teenage daughter.
Yeah, I don't have a daughter. I'll never know what this experience is like. However,
Are you sure? We should start playing the game with him. Is Annie pregnant?
I can tell you right now. I can promise you she's not. I can tell you right now. I would rather a skimpy bikini, and here's why. Because prom, there's pictures.
Okay. All right.
That follows you for the rest of your life. So the decisions you make on a beach one summer, like, ooh, I want to wear a cheeky thong bikini. It's like, not great.
Right.
But like prom pictures, like that may end up in one of the photo albums.
I think I agree with you here, but this one's difficult because red pill, skimpy bikini at the beach, and I'm at the beach. I'm always, I don't know. I guess I'm weirded out by everyone staring at her because they will. But the prom, the reason the skimpy dress causes me hesitation there is we know what happens after prom.
Gosh. This is the reason why I didn't want to have daughters. I'm going with the red pill.
I'll go red pill as well.
There's no question.
But a skimpy bikini shows a lot more than a skimpy dress shows.
I understand that, but like still.
I get what you're saying. Your argument makes sense, but it's still one of, if you're comparing 1 to 1.
And I guess prom is only one
We
time.
get one time. It's true.
only.
It's true.
Prom.
You're
Blue
going
pill.
blue pill?
Well, you
Jeez.
jump back into this.
Yeah, I knew he would.
Yeah.
Peer pressure. It's a real thing.
He called his probation officer. She said it's fine. This is all hypothetical.
for the show.
I love how it's a female probation officer also. My PO says it's cool. Cheryl. Anyways, red pill.
She's a tough gal.
You can know and speak all human languages. Blue pill. You can speak to animals and they understand them. You understand them and they understand you.
You're saying I'm Dr. Doolittle now?
Yeah.
I am speaking to animals all day
So you're
long.
going blue pill.
I mean, blue pill.
As I wrote this, I thought this is
We'll
too
see.
easy. Yeah, blue pill.
Because you want to have full conversations with your dog.
Wait, maybe I already do talk to animals.
And listen, okay, so when I was a single man, this would have been red pill all day long.
Because you go to Sao Paulo.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, there is nothing more attractive to foreign women than an American who can speak their language.
Who told you that?
Oh, dude, go on TikTok. Go on TikTok. There are literally TikTok accounts dedicated to single white Americans traipsing around Latin America.
There are?
Oh, yeah. Or going to like Croatia or whatever. What do they speak in Sweden? Swedish? Anyways, look, the point is, I mean,
That was Swedish.
it gets the ladies
Cool.
going.
And you can shop at IKEA.
However, I'm a married man.
I mean, that's
So
Finnish.
I'm not
I don't
going.
know.
I'm not going to IKEA and ordering an umlaut, okay, which is a nice little desk lamp. I'm going to talk to animals. I want to get behind the clouded, darkened eyes of my dog, Lady,
Yes.
and
that's
figure
right.
out what the hell is going on in that tiny little brain of hers.
I think we might be disappointed if we could talk to animals because it probably
Why?
not all that much is going on.
Do you
in
think
their
they're just
brains.
thinking, eat,
Yeah, like I
breathe,
think we give
Food,
dogs
food,
a
food,
lot of
scared,
credit.
Worried, scared, happy, food.
I think that's probably what it would be. Like, I think dogs do have a really high emotional IQ. I don't know that. I think they just sense a feeling and they attach themselves to that feeling. I don't know if they're actually thinking, "Oh, Dad's kind of sad right now. I'm gonna go give him a hug."
yeah, well, I feel like my dog gets emotional. Does your dog bark at you when you eat?
No, my dog barely can see. So a lot of times, even when I'm like making her food, you know how dogs will sit facing their bowl
Yeah.
because she's completely blind? There's many times where she's sitting face. Gosh, I mean, this is so mean, but it's so funny. She's literally facing away from the bowl and she's like pawing, like, but you're just like, come on, dude. Like, you're making this. I mean, like, I should take a video of this and send it to you guys the next time it happens. Like, I'll be like, you want some food? And she doesn't know where my voice is coming from. So she's facing away from me on the ground going, anyways,
Wow.
moving right along to an NFL flavor of red pill, blue pill. Red pill, Tua and Tyreek. Blue pill, Dak and CeeDee Lamb.
This is tricky. It's actually very tricky because you have to take into the whole equation, right? You got to think head coach also. Mike McDaniel is going to be a little better for Tua and Tyreek in terms of play calling, in terms of scheming, in terms of getting Tyreek open than Mike McCarthy would be for Dak and CeeDee Lamb.
Although CD, he's piled up yards.
And he's a stud. I would rather have CeeDee Lamb for the next 5 years than Tyreek Hill. And I know that sounds like a crazy person statement, but I would also rather have Tua than I would rather have Dak. So I'm going red pill on this one. I like Mike McDaniel too much not to.
You know what's weird about this one is I am not a big fan of Dak. Even though you can give me numbers, you can give me stats, it just doesn't seem like a winner when it really matters. And those numbers prove it. The weird part is I feel like there's more stability with Dak and CeeDee. Like over the long haul, I almost know what I'm going to get there. Over on the red pill side, Tua and Tyreek could either be awesome, but it almost feels like it could blow up at any time.
Tyreek's older too. I think he's going to be 32 this year.
Yeah,
Ancient.
but he's so good.
Yeah.
So fast.
So what are you picking? You picking red pill or blue pill?
I think I would take the unstable red pill. I like Tua and Tyreek.
We're in consensus. All three of us red pilling it with Tua and Tyreek. Moving on to the next one, and for all the reasons you just mentioned. I mean, Tyreek's talent, Mike McDaniel's coaching ability, all that. Red pill, every day is Halloween. Blue pill, we never celebrate Halloween again.
How many red pills can I take?
I'm cool with blue pill on this one. Halloween sucks.
Halloween's
Really?
my favorite. It's my favorite day.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the day you invite children into your garage.
Yes. Yes, it is. And now I can invite them in every day.
You're not allowed to answer that.
Oh.
You're not allowed to respond to that way. For the love of God. Yeah.
I'm just handing them candy.
That's all.
Halloween is the worst holiday.
I just want them to play games with me.
He's got we got to take a quick. He has a garage full of arcade games, and he gives away full candy bars.
No, it was way better if you just left it. That he like just tricks kids into coming into his garage.
feel like
they want to come in because
They
it's
want
so
to.
inviting.
I feel like
then they're trapped.
your parole officer Cheryl is gonna bust TD next.
How do you not like Halloween? It's the coolest.
I know.
It's kind of lame.
I like
Maybe
it.
Why?
once I have kids, it'll change my mind, like going trick or treating with them. But as
Few
a
months.
no,
You may make it this year.
That was so close.
Coming up.
It's just
Oh.
lame. I'm also always working on Halloween now these days. Like, and so are you for the most part.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
there's usually a game that Halloween weekend.
Well, I like Halloween a lot. And to your point, maybe there's better days to celebrate it that we have like kind of haven't unearthed yet. Like
Like a
maybe
Summerween.
like Halloween on Christmas.
It would be nice if Halloween was on the weekend
Yeah. Oh, always.
or
I
like
mean,
a Friday
Well,
night.
there's always a Halloween weekend, right? Where all the Halloween parties exist, even if Halloween's
Oh,
on like a Wednesday.
I've never
also,
been to
like,
a
I
Halloween
mean,
party.
how cool is
What?
it just from a people watching standpoint that like all of a sudden, like your neighbor who you're just like, yeah, like she's a normal soccer mom. All of a sudden she shows up as a sexy bat.
I'm
Like,
saying.
You're just like, what? I didn't even know a bat could be sexy.
It
And all
is
of a
the best
sudden-
Halloween for pervs.
Yeah, well, I mean,
For
for
weekend.
everybody.
Yeah, come
I mean,
on.
because also like it gives people an opportunity to step outside of themselves. And like, I mean,
So the soccer mom was like, yeah, you know what? One day a year, really slutty. Yeah.
like it's just like, and I'm here for it. I'm like, well, here's a chocolate bar. Congratulations, you've done it.
Age don't matter.
Yeah, that's right. 48, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yep. You get a 100 grand.
I do remember, like this past year for Halloween was right around the time we started SDFatLoss.com.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
true.
the three of us had our first candyless Halloween.
Oh, it was tough.
but
I'm
it was
gonna tell
also
you.
worth it.
Absolutely. And what I was going to say is what was interesting is after a couple weeks, you get into the rhythm, you start to feel better. The pounds are dropping off and you don't miss it.
Yeah, it's weird.
because that was my kryptonite, the fun size candies. Now, I mean, I can take a bite.
And when
It's
you
fine.
start competing against yourself and seeing how much when you step on the scale the next morning, it gets exciting to see the pounds start to tick off. And that's what happened with all three of us. When we got in that reduction phase, the hardcore 2 months with SDFatLoss.com, you start waking up every morning excited to jump on that scale because you are legitimately losing 2 to 3 pounds every single day. At least we were. Get on over to SDFatLoss.com today. You can start making a big change in your life. And if you mention Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, you're going to save $200 on the program. SDFatLoss.com. I don't even think I'm exaggerating here when I say saved our lives because we were heading down a dark and lonesome road as we were doing
That's right.
next level
Fletch was
fat
a
guy stuff.
murderer.
Yeah.
I was hiding the bodies. TD, he was buying rope like
I was-
every weekend at
Right.
Home Depot.
Yeah,
I was
it's
talking
like,
about our weight.
How many tarps do you need? Good God.
I was just talking
right?
about the
You know
fact
what?
that the three of us were like knocking on the obesity door
Sorry,
pretty quickly.
I
Yep,
was
and now we're just knocking on boots.
I was I was writing notes and I wasn't listening, and I apologize. We are not murderers, by the way.
No,
The thing is, it's pretty easy to lose control on your weight. Just like it's pretty easy for Rich to lose control when you put an axe in his hand. But here's what we're telling you. If you want to lose some weight, you want to lose some weight really quickly, get on over to SDFatLoss.com. You're going to save $200 when you mention Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, and you are going to lose weight the natural way. It's not going to be some of these quick fixes that you see online, but it is a quick fix if you're willing to put in the work. So get on over to SDFatLoss.com today. Mention Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. Tell Wayne and Chloe we said, what up?
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. So we promised Daryl Hall tickets, and here's how you win them. 877-767-4760.
Genius.
You call in at exactly 7:56. You win those Daryl Hall tickets. So that's a pair coming your way if you're caller number 5 at 877-767-4760.
I didn't say anything about it.
Yeah,
What?
I said something in TD's ear.
well, that's fine.
Yeah, it's cool. We just talked about
Everything's good.
just a pair coming your way.
nobody.
Well, are we
nobody,
talking Edmonton Oilers?
Nobody panicked.
And Florida Panthers turns out.
Yeah.
Wait, Florida Panthers had
Couple
the same
years ago-
thing?
Couple years ago, when the Florida Panthers went on that run,
I'd argue that one might have been better.
I'll tell you right now, couple of how would you
Do we
describe it?
compare that?
Well, so in hockey they have
Glass.
right, which is rink
Oh, wow.
side seats.
Yeah.
And you can get creative. Like a lot of people bang their hands on the glass, you know, like
Yeah.
when the puck gets close
Oh.
to them.
Yeah.
She just did a different thing.
Let's put it right now. You know what that looks like? That looks like 2 packs of Oscar Mayer bologna stacks.
Okay.
What?
That's what it looks like to me.
For snacks for the
Yeah,
team.
snack pack. Anyways,
The Oilers girl was not near the glass.
no. She was way up in the nosebleed section, and yeah.
Florida Panthers probably made TV.
Yeah. There's no question about it. But I'll tell you what, if we're comparing pairs, Oilers. I'm an Oilers
You might be
fan.
an Oilers fan.
You're a Panthers fan?
Maybe
I think I'd go Canadian.
Yeah.
Oilers.
Edmonton all the way. So we have the NBA Finals. You guys remember basketball? Turns out they're having one more series.
Well- It's one more series that, if it goes 7, will finish up right around the 23rd of June.
So yeah, the Mavericks will be hosted by the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics have been off for the better part of a week and a half. The Mavericks haven't played basketball in a week. So I'm guessing there could be a little rust to knock off in the first quarter. We got Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. They're going to be on the court taking on Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis back in the lineup, healthy-ish, I guess is the way you would describe him. So feelings today, have they changed since the beginning of the week? Do you think they'll change tomorrow on the way this series is going to go?
I just think that Luka is so good and Kyrie Irving is so good, and that Jason Tatum and the Celtics do have a little bit of a history of falling apart in big moments, that I still have Dallas winning this thing. And it is all based on the 2 Maverick superstars against the 1 Boston Celtics superstar. I think that the mental fortitude is going to come into play. Give me Mavs.
Yeah, you know what's weird is I think I'm shifting to Mavs as well, which is very odd because coming into the playoffs, I thought no one's beating the Celtics.
Boston's the better team.
Yeah, they're
altogether.
going to roll through this. But I don't know if the time off, as you start to think about who's the best player out there on the team or who's the best player out there on the court, and it advantage Mavs.
And I think they have 2 of them.
right.
Like, I think the 2 stars on the Mavs might be better than anyone Boston has.
Well, I don't know if I feel as strongly about Kyrie Irving as you do. Luka Doncic, I believe, is the best player or has been the best performer in the postseason so far.
Finals Kyrie is who I feel differently about because he's proven it in the past. He plays different once it's the NBA Finals.
I have the faith in the Boston Celtics because I think that home court advantage is huge in the finals. They obviously have home court advantage. B, Tatum and Brown are a real duo. And I think that anger that is discussed sometimes when you're disappointed with prior failures, man, that's real. And there's a huge chip on the shoulder in Boston right now. And I think that Tatum and Brown both feel disrespected. I think they're both actually really eloquently stated their case here a couple of times over about how they feel like the NBA or the writers who cover the NBA or the broadcasters who cover the NBA have snubbed them many times over. I think this is finally going to be the time where the Boston Celtics, in this iteration of the Boston Celtics, achieve what they're looking to achieve. And maybe they start getting some respect back on their name, or that perceived respect that they're searching for.
So these names that we've been mentioning this segment, Jason Tatum, Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, Jaylen Brown, all stars right now on the Prize Picks app. And on the Prize Picks app, if you include stars in your lineup, you're going to get a 10% payout boost if your lineup wins. And so right now, I actually just submitted an entry while Rich was monologuing over there Jason Tatum more than a half point, which that feels like a lock, I would hope. And then Kyrie Irving more than 24 points. That's for tomorrow night's game. If that wins, instead of $60, it's $66 because I included stars in my lineup. Testing my skills on Prize Picks. This playoff basketball season is the most simple way to get in on the action. You just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and submit your lineups. Download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code DOGSBARKBORK.
Yeah, playoff time is the best time for Prize Picks. Join a community with over 5 million members who have already downloaded the app. I was reluctant. Fletch said to me, buddy, you got to get on Prize Picks. I said, nope, you can't convince me. I'm not going to do it. And then finally, I bowed. I caved. I did it. I downloaded it. I signed up with promo code DOGS. I got my first deposit, which was $100, matched up to $100. So I had $200 to play with, and I've made money during the course of my time firing away on the Prize Picks app, and it's been awesome.
It's cool that demons and goblins are part of my normal talking experience now. It's cool that stars are part of my normal talking experience when I'm just chatting with friends, because that's all available on the Prize Picks app. I love the different promotions. That's how they keep you engaged. That's how they keep it so that sometimes it feels like the odds are a little bit in your favor. Get on over to Prize Picks today. Download the app. Use promo code DOGS. You're going to get that first deposit matched up to $100. DOGS, DOGS, DOGS when you first sign up. Prize Picks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. It's hour 3 on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. This update presented by the County of San Diego Health and Human Services Agency. Started off with the Pods. They lose last night 4-2 to the Angels. Another one today. Dylan Cease on the mound for the Padres. NFL 49ers signing Christian McCaffrey to a 2-year extension, paying him $19 million per season. And with the NBA Finals coming up tomorrow, Celtics big man Kristaps Porzingis saying he plans on suiting up for Game 1. Children of diverse backgrounds need and deserve a safe, loving, nurturing, accepting, and consistent place to live where they can thrive and mature. Any individual, couple, or family can be eligible to become a resource family. Visit SD Cares, the number 4, kids.com.
It's Big Rich, TD, and Fletch on San Diego Sports 760.
Ben Fletcher may be the Oilers girl.
No.
How many times he lifts his shirt up?
I'm going to tell you.
See, just like that.
You know what?
Mine are way hairier
We
and
should
not
do
as
it
nice.
side by side.
Very similar, though, nip to flesh ratio. I mean, look, that is important if we're going to break down anatomy. Which, by the way, hashtag Oilers girl.
Now, here are the guys.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. Happy Wednesday to those who celebrate. Happy hump day to you all.
Mike.
It really does feel like we're getting over a hump with the Padres, doesn't it?
Feels like we're not quite over the hump.
No, it's just, I mean, we're just, what a middling, weird, like half positive, half truly negative season it's been with the you'd like
3 days ago, did it feel like you were getting over the hump?
it felt
They
like
had just won 8 out of 10 series. Things were looking pretty good. They weren't able to sweep any series, but they were winning them.
There are a couple games over 500.
what's so strange is like this team, like, yeah, like what you just said, like we should feel pretty good about that. Like winning 8 out of 10 series. I mean, even with the recent series loss, like, okay, it's still a pretty good run, but it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like the Padres are on a good run. Even there's some like signs that things may be turning around. I think it's a really short sample size compared to what we've seen. Maybe turning around with Manny Machado, maybe getting better with Fernando Tatis Jr. I hope. Let's pray. But like this team, it's just been like all of the positive has been met with equal but opposite negative.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's like Newton's law.
Yeah, it's because it's not like they're taking a loss. Well, there were a few early on where they were losing by a few. It just feels like the losses have been no offense at all. And then 2 days later, they're scoring 14.
Yeah.
And what's incredibly frustrating is when you get the type of pitching performances that you've gotten from the bottom of your rotation between Matt Waldron, Michael King, and Adam Major yesterday that are literally historic for the Padres. Like the 6 innings pitched, 1 run or fewer from the last 3 starting pitchers for the Padres, and they've been the bottom of your rotation. You haven't won a single one of those games. That is the first time in franchise history they've lost 3 straight with at least 6 innings pitched and 1 earned run or fewer from their starter.
Let's get back to all that because there's so much to unearth here with some of the people who have not been lauded loud enough in the Padres system. And we've done it ourselves. We admitted to this just moments ago. The fact that guys like Adam Major, who have stepped in and done some really impressive things, Jerkson Profar the season he's had so far, I think it's time to shine a brighter light on them instead of concentrating on what some of the stars, some of the heftier price tags around this lineup haven't done. And we know exactly who we're talking about when we talk about those stars.
All right, so as of right now, who would be the all-stars
Well,
on this Padres team?
We'll get back to that. NFL first.
Okay.
I mean, let's just
91 days, 15 hours, 54 minutes, 2 seconds.
that is a needed reminder.
That means tomorrow is 90 days.
We are within striking distance, folks. I mean, that's 3 months away before the NFL arrives at our doorstep.
The NFL may get here before the NBA playoffs finish.
That's true. That's
Well,
true.
hang on. And if it's 91 days for NFL, that means it's 84 days till college. 'Cause they start about a week earlier.
Right. Yeah. I forget when the Aztecs kickoff game is against
It's
A&M
the
Commerce.
final day of August. It's either August 30th or August 31st.
Yeah, it's right at the end of August. Yeah, so we're close. We're again, like you said, we are within striking distance, within 3 months in terms of the college football season. We're just outside of 3 months in terms of the NFL season. And speaking of the NFL, bouncing around the league we go. There are some notes out of Minnesota. So check it out. There's a fine line between a big receiver and a tight end, like a good pass catching tight end. But the Minnesota Vikings, they're going to take some time this spring to see if N'Keal Harry can bridge that gap.
The Patriots wide receiver?
So he was drafted by the Patriots. He's now with the Vikings. And they're going to try to figure out if they can help because Hawkinson got injured late in the season. He had that torn ACL, I believe it was.
Yeah.
So now they're a little light in terms of a red zone threat, in terms of a threat over the middle of the field. And if N'Keal Harry, who was a stud out of ASU, and there were high hopes for him as the last first-round pick years ago with the Patriots.
Really struggled, though. I remember that. Like, it was Brady got upset with him for some of his route running abilities. Like, he wasn't running it as tightly as Brady would have liked.
It's the problem was he couldn't understand the playbook. Like, so look, his route running in college was fine. I can promise you, I watched a lot of N'Keal Harry in college. But when you ask a receiver to run multiple routes, all of a sudden it gets confusing, and they don't run crisp routes as a result of not knowing what to do. And that was the problem with him. It seemed like he never knew where he was on the football field. And that's a problem that potentially Kevin O'Connell will face with him as well. But if you limit the amount of things he can screw up, the hope is you're going to have a more productive player.
Do tight ends have a little bit easier route tree than receivers do?
Not usually. No, tight end is one of the harder positions to play in the NFL. However, with any player, you can limit what they're asked to do. So if he's a situational player, like if he's really specifically used in the red zone and third down, like I think they would use him to replace the production of Hawkinson, then you can make it easier on him. But yeah, typically tight end's a tough position to play because not only do you have to have a real heavy understanding of the route tree and what you're asked to do in the passing game from a passing standpoint, you also have blocking assignments. You have to be there pass blocking sometimes, run blocking sometimes. A lot of these tight ends can't do both.
Speaking of tight ends, Travis Kelce has his podcast with his brother Jason. Jason under fire because he said he doesn't wash his feet. He just lets the soap run over his feet.
Yeah.
And now there are people attacking him saying, how could you do that? You're an athlete. This is how you get athlete's foot, by not washing your feet. Anyone here wash their feet?
I have a theory on this. The only times I've gotten athlete foot is from actually spending time washing in between my toes and scrubbing. Every time I pay attention to my feet in the shower, I feel like that's when I get athlete's foot. So I never wash my feet. I only allow the soap to wash over.
Yeah, I mean, unless my feet are dirty.
Yeah.
It's just the soap running over
Which
it.
even then, you just take the hose in the backyard and spray them off a little bit, right?
you hose them down
So
and then you're done.
you don't scrub your
I
feet.
did it until 3 months ago when I broke my leg because I have to use this like stupid antiseptic stuff all over my leg, and that they also said to go between my toes and stuff. That's the first time I've ever had to do it.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah,
Weird.
I don't understand why he would be attacked. He's a national treasure.
That's what I'm saying.
Anyways,
When my wife, Sarah, sent me this video and said, you should get her on the show. It was this lady who was talking about foot care because I don't sit and scrub my feet in the
So,
shower.
Did you reach out to her?
it's like, who does that? Who's going to sit down in the shower? Can you imagine sitting in a shower and be like, all right, and now it's time for my toes?
I thought about reaching out to her, but as I investigated, she makes her own soap. I don't trust that. Fight Club
she's
stuff.
just trying to sell more soap.
She's trying to sell soap.
Yeah,
Also,
can't be
speaking of
trusted.
tight ends, did you see the Niners signed Logan Thomas?
I did not see that.
He's coming in. So I think George Kittle, who last year his production did decrease. Like it seemed like Brock Purdy was more a Brandon Ayuk guy, and George Kittle was used more as a blocker.
Is Logan Thomas planning on coming into the San Francisco's 49ers and spending time on the IR with an injury?
Probably. That's what he's been really good at that over his career. But I do think he is a really good pass catching tight end. So I think that just adds another big option for Purdy to throw to.
Apparently, Micah Parsons expects to be the NFL's highest paid non-quarterback. He's locked up through 2025, but he was talking to the Dallas Fort Worth Star Telegram. I'm patient. Patient is a virtue. I'm waiting my turn. Let CD go get whatever. Let Dak get whatever. And then he's going to get paid.
Ooh, there's no question about it. He's one of the most dominant defenders in the NFL. He's stayed healthy. He's switched around positions. He's been versatile. He's as good of an on-the-edge rusher as he is an off-ball linebacker. When you have a weapon like that, my goodness. I mean, you have it all.
So,
from
know
a defensive standpoint.
the beginning of last year, the Cowboys said that they were going to stop moving him around a bunch on the defensive side and let him just focus on one thing. They didn't really do that. Like it felt like he moved around a lot last year too.
They had some injuries where he was asked to do more than that, but he wanted, and the defense agreed, they wanted him to be an edge rusher. I would say the majority of his snaps still were rushing off the edge or rushing over one of the offensive line positions. But yeah, I think utilizing him as a pass rusher obviously is going to have the biggest impact on the game because he's good at it.
And if you're Micah Parsons, like edge rushers get paid.
Oh, yeah.
You would want to be that guy versus a linebacker who one or two linebackers get paid.
Well, if you get in the situation where you're potentially being franchise tagged, for example, you want to be franchise tagged as an edge rusher and not as an off-ball linebacker because those prices are higher. What else you got?
Oh, I was just looking at this stat that just popped up. Aaron Rodgers has the lowest interception percentage in NFL history.
A lot of people forget how talented this guy is. I understand he's a controversial character. I understand he says a lot of things that people disagree with. If you put all of the off-field stuff aside, Aaron Rodgers is one of the most brilliant football players we've ever seen play the game. I mean, before Mahomes, I argued that he's the most talented quarterback to ever play the position. Mahomes has taken the mantle. So that means he is the second most talented, in my opinion, quarterback to ever play the game of football. Wow. Tom Brady's the greatest of all time. Look, nobody's going to touch what he has from a team standpoint, individual success. But Aaron Rodgers is the second most talented quarterback to ever play the game. The touch he puts on the long ball, the fact that he's able to extend plays, we'll see how he looks on the other side of an Achilles injury. Even as he's aged, he's a good athlete. It's been impressive to say the very least, a 4-time MVP.
What was the actual stat that you just said?
Aaron Rodgers has the lowest interception percentage in NFL history at 1.4%.
Okay, his touchdown to interception ratio is also ridiculous, and his completion percentage is ridiculous because Aaron Rodgers, and this goes to his football IQ, frequently will throw the ball away more than most quarterbacks.
Mhm.
Like if he's outside the pocket, he will launch it out of bounds if there's no one open, and that doesn't affect your completion percentage.
Right.
You said it doesn't?
Wait, yeah, that would be
if it's an intentional throwaway, it doesn't count against your completion percentage.
Wouldn't that still be a
It doesn't get count. I don't know. It doesn't get counted as an incompletion.
How would they go to the stats and delete that?
Yeah, no, I think you're wrong. I think that's an adjusted completion percentage. That might be like a Pro Football Focus stat. If you throw an incompletion, it counts as an incompletion and it goes against your completion percentage. In terms of interceptions, though, that'll help because that's a part of the game that a lot of young quarterbacks do not understand. When you heave a football downfield out of panic and worry because you're trying to make something happen and you think, well, I better play hero ball here, like a la Zach Wilson, another Jets quarterback, former Jets quarterback, you're going to make mistakes, and those mistakes are going to be costly for your team. The most important thing in the world is the football when you're on a football field. If you don't protect it, then you're not of any use if you're an offensive player. Speaking of offensive players, the Detroit Lions are in pretty good shape in their offensive backfield. If you were paying attention, David Montgomery was an absolute war daddy out of the backfield for the Detroit Lions. You remember the year he had over 1,000 yards rushing. He was the hammer. And a little bit of that sweetness was Jahmyr Gibbs. Well, they're back, and Montgomery was interviewed during their mandatory minicamp. And they were asking David Montgomery, about the relationship he has with Jahmyr Gibbs. I thought this was adorable. He said, we're like peanut butter and jelly. And he's 100% right. He's the peanut butter. He's like the sticky stuff that gets stuck to your gums, and he's just pounding. And then you got the sweetness of the jelly. Jahmyr Gibbs, he is underrated for how much he contributed to this offense.
Also ridiculously talented between the tackles, which we saw later in the season. It was Jahmyr Gibbs at first was really more of the sweep running back. Like he would go to the outside a lot. And then towards the playoffs, and especially in that Niners game, man, he was killing the 49ers with just runs up the middle because he's so elusive and he is strong. Jahmyr Gibbs, do you expect he takes over as the A running back and David Montgomery the B, or is it the same split as last year, where the majority of the times, if it was just a run on first down, David Montgomery was getting the ball, and they would save Jahmyr Gibbs for more of the special plays?
If it ain't broke.
Yeah. You use them the exact same way this season, and you will befuddle defenses because, again, even Gibbs was used in the run game the same way Montgomery was, just less so. And then when you have a pass catcher like Gibbs, it just gives you so much versatility. I mean, you can put them in the backfield together and you don't know if it's a run play or a passing play because Montgomery can block for you too. So he can be a lead blocker on a run play for Gibbs, or he can carry the football, or he could stay in and block while Gibbs goes out on a passing route. It just gives you so much variety when you have two running backs who are capable of doing virtually everything you ask them to do offensively. The Detroit Lions, man, I mean, probably going to represent the NFC conference in the Super Bowl this year.
Which I'm pretty cool with. I'm pretty cool with.
I like the Lions. It's hard to not like them.
Yeah, they're a team that's hard to root against.
I don't know about that.
And why is that? Why do you not know
Because
about
the San Francisco 49ers.
Did you figure out, by the way, if incompletions count as incompletions?
So there's
Googling
different stats. I
practically?
think the one that is used, and you might be, I think it is adjusted completion percentage, but
Of course it is.
there are stats that they don't even take those into account. Like it's not even counted on the final stat line of the game.
And those are done by Pro Football Focus, which is
I
a
don't
smart
think so.
resource.
I'm trying
Because
to-
when you watch film, not all incompletions are created the same. Not all completions, by the way, are created the same. I think it's really brilliant what Pro Football Focus and other outlets have done, which is when you throw a bad pass, but it's caught. Like sometimes you throw a pass and it goes down as a completion, but it's tipped at the line of scrimmage and it's up for grabs.
Yeah.
And it just so happens your tight end was the closest
Right.
to it.
Or in reverse, it'll hit somebody right in the hands, bounce out, and it's a pick.
Yeah, so those adjusted completion percentages that Ben was alluding to, those are important to evaluate when you are trying to take in the whole picture of what makes a great quarterback or even a good quarterback to great, or a quarterback who looks great statistically and downgrade them to, no, they're just good. They're just a little bit lucky in certain cases, or they're surrounded by better talent. We move back on to the Padres in just a moment, but first, we are a day away from the NBA Finals beginning. We've got so much news breaking all over the NFL. It's time for a TD halftime.
Well, I'll start with the Padres. They lost again.
Yeah.
It's official. It's a
Yeah.
losing streak. It's 3 in a row.
Gosh.
But guess what? They play again today at 6:38. Woo! I'm fired up.
Yeah.
I'm fired up. No, I actually think it'll be a good day. We're going to talk with Kevin Acee here coming up. Our best friend in the whole wide world, Kevin Acee, coming up here in about 10 minutes. So make sure you don't go anywhere.
I wonder why today's not a day game.
Because they're in
It's going to
California.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, but like even Padres, like if they play at Petco Park, Wednesdays are usually the 1:10 start.
Well, it's usually because they're on their way out the
Right.
door if
So
it's
they're
a
just-
getaway day.
They're
So
heading.
they're in California. They're just heading down the I-5.
Reigning NFL Offensive Player of the Year, Christian McCaffrey, has agreed to a massive new contract with the Niners, signed a 2-year, $38 million extension. He'll get an additional $8 million over what he was scheduled to make for the first 2 years, while adding $24 million guaranteed. I think he did okay.
Not bad.
In the heated world of pro tennis, Stefanos Tsitsipas took issue with two-time Grand Slam champion Carlos Alcaraz's style of playing during their quarterfinal match at the French Open yesterday, prompting him to make his case with the chair umpire. Tsitsipas was upset over Alcaraz's extended grunt
All right. Well, all right.
as he hit the ball. It was absurd. That was short. It was.
No way.
It was fantastic.
So I remember listening to this guy on either Instagram or TikTok talking about how he likes to watch tennis. So he's more of a women's tennis fan.
Okay, all right.
So he says he deletes everything except for the grunting, and he keeps in the applause. And I think you can figure out why.
Interested?
Oh God!
Speaking of women in the WNBA, the Storm retrograded the Mercury 80-62, the Liberty Mutual the Sky 88-75,
Well done,
and
well
the
done.
Sun glass hutted the Mystics 76-59.
Now that one I'm not so sure I understand.
Sunglass hut?
Sunglass Hut. Got it.
Been there.
Understood. Been there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to hear something actually that happened at Disneyland? So when we were there, I bought a pair of sunglasses before the trip.
Sweet.
Immediately lost them. I mean,
Really?
just
Were they good ones or gas station?
They were decent. So I had them on my head,
Douchers?
Wait,
And-
the Disneyland ones?
and then
Those are your blendies.
and then I put them on the back of my shirt. I don't know what they were, but then I lost them.
I remember in your video where you jump up and down and you could see your you said blender sunglasses.
I think you were. I think-
yeah,
right.
they were blenders.
I think
Yeah.
you were wearing them when you were sipping the margaritas.
I had them then, and then they disappeared. It was definitely day two. At some point. Disneyland claims another pair of sunglasses.
Wow.
You know what I should have done? Gone to the Lost and Found.
Actually,
I'm pretty sure it would have been easy to pick out
No,
some black
It
sunglasses.
is not easy. I've lost sunglasses
No
at Disneyland
kidding.
before.
What?
No, are you ready for this?
are you out
There's
of
a
your
whole story.
mind?
I lost glasses on the Avengers ride where you go up and down. Used to be Tower of Terror.
So far over your head.
You know the Tower of Terror ride,
Yes,
which
yes.
is now the Avengers ride. So I
Yeah.
lost a pair of sunglasses on
Uh-huh.
that. It was a 6-month process to get them back after Kendall made the claim.
Wow. I lost my pocket pills on that ride.
Oh,
Wait, did
no.
you go to the Lost and
I went
Found?
to Lost and Found and I said, there should be 3 ibuprofen.
But what I'm saying is, it's not as easy as just going to a Lost and Found. You got to go through this whole thing online.
I got a phone call from the Lost and Found after we left from the hotel saying, you guys left your pillows here. And I went,
Really?
I said, I did?
That's
I
wait.
didn't bring pillows. I was like, the hotel pillows? Do I come back and get those?
The answer is always yes. It's like, well, I guess, yeah. It turns out we need some extra goose down pillows. All right. On the other side, we're going to talk Padres with our very best friend, Kevin Acee, Padres insider, UT San Diego. He's all over the place. Right now, he's in Anaheim. Okay. He just spent a little time in Kansas City. We promised him barbecue. We did not buy him
Oh,
barbecue.
we forgot all about that.
Yeah, we forgot all
Yeah.
about that. So we probably are going to have to answer to that.
Mhm, mhm.
Hopefully, he doesn't bring it up.
Mhm.
Kevin Acee coming up next.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, it's back, and you can win tickets before you can buy them. Live performances by Big Sean, Camila Cabello, Doja Cat, Gwen Stefani, New Kids on the Block, Shabuzi, and a whole lot more. Happening September 20th and 21st out at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. We're talking 2 nights on one stage, Fletch. Listen to win tickets before you can buy them, including airfare and hotel accommodations out in Vegas, plus $1,000 spending cash. Just keep listening for your chance to win. And our exclusive Capital One cardholder presale begins next Wednesday on San Diego Sports 760. We go where you go. Ow! Yeah! Whoa! Make them say, ah!
Do the tennis grunt.
Ah!
This update is presented by San Diego Health and Human Services Agency. Padres fall to the Angels last night 4-2, becoming the first team this year to lose a series in Anaheim not named the Angels. One more against the Angels today. Dylan Cease going to be on the mound for the Pods. In the NFL, 49ers signing the reigning Offensive Player of the Year, Christian McCaffrey, to a 2-year extension, which is going to pay the running back $19 million per season. Our Padres insider, Kevin Acee, very best friend in the whole wide world. Coming up next, children of a diverse backgrounds need and deserve a safe, loving, nurturing, accepting, and consistent place to live where they can thrive and mature. Any individual, couple, or family can be eligible to become a resource family. Visit sdcares4kids.com.
Kevin Acee on San Diego Sports 760 is brought to you by Hamul Casino. Hamul Casino, fun above all else.
It's Big Rich and Fletch at San Diego Sports 760. We're talking Padres.
Yeah.
We're talking Padres. And there's no one else we'd rather talk with than our best friend in the whole wide world. I mean, obviously, we're his best friend as well. It's mutual.
Door swings
Yeah,
both ways, of course.
Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, joining us right now. Kevin, how are you, sir?
It's about time I got a little applause when I roll into this place.
Well, you know what? We do
Breaking
applaud
news.
you. Wait, we have breaking news? Oh, there we go. We applaud you, but sometimes we're not connected immediately, so you don't hear our applause.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. Sometimes you don't get an opportunity to bow to the applause you don't hear, Kev.
Will Eric Hosmer be an all-star this season?
We still don't have an answer. We still don't have an answer. And we're hoping maybe one day.
happening? What is happening?
That's question number one for
Fletch
you.
is playing. He's just pressing all the buttons back here.
Right.
We actually do have. Will Hosmer be an all-star button? Oh, there's the horns.
We're talking NFL with Kevin Acee.
Here's a question. When is Adam Major going to be invited to Cooperstown? Like, is the bust being currently poured as we speak, or how does this work? Is he going to wear a Padres hat? I assume he will.
Also, he doesn't have a gambling problem, does he?
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just saying one thing at a time. But honestly, what do you know about his sports betting apps on his phone? And did he at any point come across Tucupita Marcano?
Oh my gosh. He pitched very well, didn't he?
He really
He
did.
did.
I'm going to pick the very safe route. You guys are really got clearly you have some new toys there. And yeah. And some is it what is this? Is this Wednesday?
Yeah,
Is it Bar Cart Wednesday?
Yeah, we just do it
Will
every day
Eric
now.
Hosmer be an all-star this season?
Yeah, okay, so he pitches very well,
Hmm.
but the Padres still lose.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, is
Hey,
that
hey, Kevin, you were in Kansas City. Did they accidentally leave their bats at the airport, or what happened there?
Yeah, something happened because, as you just pointed out there, first team, I like that. First team not named the Angels to lose a series at Angel Stadium. I wish I'd thought of that last night.
Yeah.
But that's a little snarky for me, probably, because I'm not a snarky,
Yeah, Kevin, if there's one thing you are not, it is
Yeah.
snarky.
That's right?
That is correct. Yeah, very, very ugly. I chose to not make a big deal out of it because I just feel like I've made a big deal out of it a lot. This losing teams. They actually had started to, just win. Like no matter who they were playing, couple weeks been winning. But you know what? Tonight could be the second time they're swept by the second worst team in the respective leagues. They
Sweet.
swept by the Rockies, and I suppose they could be swept by the Angels, as sort of unfathomable as that is. But I don't even know what to say. It's truly amazing, especially get this, like Fernando Tatis Jr. and Manny Machado are hitting now, and then no one else is. So yeah. I don't. It's is it June? It's June 5th today. I still want to overreact, but I'm confused. I mean, this is a befuddling team. I don't know if that's coming across or not.
No, that's the right word. I think it is. And if the season ended today, they'd be in the playoffs. So it's great. But not to just add more negativity to everything, but how concerned should we be about Joe Musgrove and Yu Darvish? Like, it sounds like the Musgrove one might be a little more serious than the Darvish one, but these two guys are going to be missing some time. How long do you think they're going to be out?
I think concerned enough that you would be thinking, gosh, should we add someone? Now, the Major thing is fantastic because, okay, look, this guy can start. Though I do caution, and again, that was a fantastic display of like good pitches, grit. Like the guy walked 4 people. I mean, and he was in trouble, but like he got out of it with double plays. That's great, but he also got out of a double plays. That's not going to happen every time, and you're not going to be facing the Angels every time. All right. So Jacob Nix, I think, had 6 shutout innings or something like that in his first start. Love me some Jacob Nix, but where's he now? So let's not get ahead of ourselves. The Padres will still look to find somebody to be in their rotation, but they are. I've asked everyone I could ask. They believe that Yu Darvish and Joe Musgrove are going to come back and be effective parts of this rotation this year.
Gosh.
But they're on the sideline now for the second time this season. There is no getting around that this is a concern.
No question. I hope you're right. I hope they're right, and you're getting intel that's truthful. Because look, all you can do is tell us what you're hearing from people who are supposedly in the know, and that sounds promising. But who knows? Because like we know, it is a game of liar's poker, and you never want to reveal your hand until it's time. And the river card hasn't been flopped yet. Kevin Acee joining us here, Padres insider. Show's best friend. Also, we're his best friend. It's sort of the door does swing both ways.
He talks about it all the time. And if you read his articles, you can see
the mentions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's always talking about our show. And Kevin, that's kind of embarrassing. You don't have to do it all the time, but whatever. Anyways, to use the word you just used, befuddled, perplexed, confused, muddled, addled, bewildered, frankly disoriented. That's how I feel watching the Padres this season.
You got some good internet there, where the thesaurus comes up quickly.
Our Wi-Fi is strong.
It's just his brain.
Extremely, extremely strong at iHeart San Diego. I have to ask you this. Your best reasoning behind what we're seeing. We've got 64 games now, right? That's a large sample size. Why are the Padres so good sometimes and so bad other times? What gives? Why is this happening?
Well, first thing I want to say is that it's the only team that we all watch every day. All right. Okay. I mean, how did the Giants get to 2 games over and now 2 games under? Now, other teams, you're right. There's this one weakness, pitching, or this one weakness they can't hit, or whatever it is. I know, but there are other teams that are like this, and it is the nature of baseball, and it is why you play 162 games. We watch them and we go, ah. And I will say, for a long time, and that's why I mentioned that Fernando Tatis Jr. and Manny Machado are hitting recently, is that for a long time we were looking for all these reasons, and there were, like, the starting pitching would really have some bad stretches or whatever, but we were looking for all these reasons, and the fact was the guys that this team was built around, they were not hitting, and that really explained it. It was kind of amazing that they were as good as they were. I mean, last year the guys that they built the team around weren't hitting, and they were 5 and 6 games under 500 by this point in the year, and they've been mostly 500 above 500 this year. So it is maddening because you look at the names and you look at how good they play sometimes, but on the other hand, look, they're just not a great team, and this is what great teams look like. I'm sorry, not great teams look like.
Right. Gotcha. Kevin, staying on the theme of befuddled, is there any reason why these games start at 6:38?
Yeah. That, you see, because we like round numbers. Like 240 felt, or excuse me, 640 felt good. 638 feels uneasy.
630 would honestly feel better to me.
It feels there's a little bit of alarm attached to that. Like, it kind of feels like, should we act? I mean, it feels like
do we engage?
Yeah, should I turn on the television or get in my bunker? I don't know. It's 6:38. Be there, be square.
I didn't care enough to ask. I did notice, but here's the thing: like, I'm just there, and when the game starts, the game starts. So I'm going to let you down on this one. It's not one of those that's like on my radar because, like, I'm just there anyway. Well, and so 6:38, whatever.
But now that we've brought it up, can you ask?
It's going to bother me, so I'll get you an answer.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Kevin, the other thing we got to get to is a wellness check on Kevin Acee. I mean, we're how many 60-something games into the season right now? Are you hitting your mid-season slump yet? Are you feeling okay? How are you doing?
I figured you could tell that I'm in my mid-season slump.
You don't
so I
sound
figured
great.
that's why you're asking.
You know what's interesting?
It's one of those passive-aggressive things.
No,
Kevin,
I just
how
want
are
to know
you?
how you're feeling. Like, I am legitimately curious. You are legitimately one of our friends. Like, I want to know how you're doing.
Yeah, like, do we need to bring you over to the boot barn? Do we need to do this now?
Right.
Get you all dazzled up and maybe some tassels
Big
on your
old
vest.
buckle.
Maybe we'll go and we'll get ourselves
Maybe a mani pedi.
or that, or we can do that too. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking more like guy stuff.
Yeah,
but it's fine. Yeah, we can do mani pedi.
Pampering. What?
What do you mean? That's not guy stuff? Like, what do you
Wait
mean?
a second. Do you get your nails manicured and your toes pedicured?
If I had time, I would. Have you ever had one?
No, not once.
No.
What is that?
You
like?
what?
I don't know if anybody's ever touched my feet.
That's a good point too. I'm not sure if anybody's touched my feet either.
We should go get pedicures.
Oh, I'm not going to get into this because I feel like there's a whole lot of things I could say that would be taken out of context.
Nope. Bring it on.
But
Yeah,
But-
Kev, it's fine. Actually, it's just us today. We told all of our listeners, you know what, stay out of it.
We're actually in a break.
Yeah, yeah,
Right
yeah.
It's an election year. They're all over at Kogo.
Yeah,
We told them buzz off, losers.
Right.
Kevin AC
Right.
is all ours today.
that's it. That's it.
I do not like people touching me,
Okay,
but
so-
I will tell you that if you're going to, that is where you go, is to get a pedicure and to get a manicure.
Interesting.
But in particular, a pedicure. Now, the manicure, more people are going to see. And when they notice, it's one of those things where they're like, that guy takes care of his hands. But the pedicure, I'm not even sure how to describe it without getting you guys in trouble with the FCC.
That's a good point.
Go
Good
ahead.
point. There's a little button.
Though you guys definitely come up against that basically every few minutes.
Just in case you get in trouble, there is a fail safe.
Hey, by the way,
Yeah.
you know, we like to ask and inquire, but we also do like to inform. So while you are going to get us an answer on that 6:38 start time, I'm going to inform you of something that I just learned. I just used the expression "be there, be square." Do you want to know the reason why people say that? Because if you're not there, you're not around.
Yes,
So be there or be square because you're not
unbelievable.
around.
Right?
You dig that, Kevin?
You're kidding, right?
No. I read that as well. I hope that's true.
There's Kevin AC, our
Yeah,
Padres
Kevin AC.
insider.
Oh, Kevin, check this out. Check this out. How about this for like when you're writing an article? I spoke with Big Rich TD and Fletch today. They are your premier destination for Padres information.
Yeah, can we get that trending?
Yeah.
I knew that was coming. You guys just keep reading to be like little subtle things, like maybe not your names and stuff, but like little subtle references.
I got
you
it.
know,
I got it.
just like us. There'll be like little winks between us
You're
and
gonna
stuff.
do.
Yeah.
You're gonna do some Zodiac killer stuff. We're gonna need a cipher.
Is Kevin AC the Zodiac Killer?
I mean, have you ever seen them in the same room together?
No one's ever seen the Zodiac Killer in any room.
No, that's a good point.
Mhm.
It's a good point. Yeah, that's a
Beautiful.
very solid point.
Beautiful. Well, we
what
miss
else
you,
do we,
Kev.
yeah, what else do we have for Kevin? I mean, you know,
Yeah, Kevin, do you have any questions for us?
TD's buying pedicures.
I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions.
can we get you to write the title of your next article featuring Adam Major, like, you know, something like
Ooh,
like the true measure of a man, or like,
Oh, yes, that's pretty good.
you know,
that's so
yeah.
much better. That's so much better than the other one. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Jackson Farrell Merrill?
well, no, I mean, I think he's talking about, you know, like what else can we measure, guys?
Oh.
Are we
Oh.
talking girth or length? Anyways, Kevin AC, Padres insider.
Woo! Thanks, Kevin. We love you.
We love you, Kev. And when you measure, always start from the base of the mound. Anyways, that's just
Wow.
baseball stuff. That is
Listen,
just baseball stuff.
Be there or be square. You said it was created because you're not around.
Yeah.
God, I used to be so much more round. So much
We also
more
used to not be able to measure your neck.
Yeah.
It's true.
They actually
It's
didn't
true.
make a measuring tape large enough.
You mean a measuring tape?
a measuring tape large enough to wrap around your gigantic pedestal that holds that melon.
Yeah. And then Wayne and Chloe from SDFatLoss.com stepped in and they said, we'll get it down to a usable size. You won't have to use a 100-foot tape measure.
Yeah, we were talking about like actually buying a deli slicer and trying to take off a couple of half inches. Look, here or there, you know, it's something that you'll heal from.
Yeah.
I'd have a
like
bite.
one does.
It honestly looked like a bologna
Listen,
log.
and that's when Wayne and Chloe stepped in. They said, no, you don't have to murder TD. We are going to help him lose 20 to 30 pounds in 8 weeks' time. And I said, that sounds impossible.
Mhm.
And it worked. It worked. Look, a week into this thing, I was down 10 plus pounds. I think we all were, which was absolutely shocking because every time we got on the scale, it was dropping a pound a day. It was insane. They can do the same for you. You follow along what Wayne and Chloe has to say over at SDFatLoss.com, and they will set you up on a winning strategy to lose weight and lose weight very, very quickly. But here's the kicker. You're not just going to lose it. You're going to keep it off. They're going to give you the tools. They're going to give you the talent. They're going to give you the technology to make sure that you keep that weight off. Because a lot of these fad diets, you've done them before. I've done them before, where They're tough. They're tough, and you power through them, and you do end up losing weight. But as soon as you stop them because they're not sustainable, you gain the weight right back.
Yep.
And that sucks. That's not what we're doing this for. You want to keep the weight off because you want to add some years to your life. You want to do it for the family. You want to look better. You want to feel better. When you go out to the beach and you take your shirt off and your pants off and you're completely nude standing there in the sand,
That's right. Like everybody
like
does.
everyone does,
If you're
you want to make sure
sunning your perineum,
you want,
doesn't matter what
you
you're
want,
doing.
You want to be dialed in, and they will dial you in. Sundial, that is, at sdfatloss.com. So go there. It's a free consultation that you can set up today at sdfatloss.com. And if you mention the show, mention Big Rashidi Pledge, and you will save $200. We joke about it. We laugh about it, but you are going to lose weight. You are going to feel a million times better, and they're going to take great care of you at sdfatloss.com.
The natural way.
Ow!
You did not say that.
Talk back, Mike.
San Diego Sports 760. Chipotle. Bigger portions.
Ow!
Talk back, Mike.
Hit us up on the Talkback Mike. Just open up the free iHeartRadio app. Listen to San Diego Sports 760 and tap that little microphone icon next to the play button to leave a 30-second talk back. San Diego Sports 760. Food with integrity.
We couldn't even get that one out. Food with integrity.
Give me the tap one more time.
Tap that little microphone.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. Congratulations to who was our Daryl Hall ticket winner?
George.
George.
Out of touch, out of time.
Yeah.
We
Well,
are
listen,
actually out of time.
We are.
We don't have any show left. That was it. Huge thanks to Kevin Acey, our best friend. Who else do we thank today, Fletch?
The roadies, the dogs, the hangers, the bangers. Is that it? Oh, you two. Mike
TD,
Usher.
Mike Usher.
Closing statements? Anything?
Love you guys. Love you, Kevin.
San Diego Sports 760. Food with integrity.